I'm pretending to cultivate immortality in kindergarten. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 301 Interview. The next morning, before the sun had even completely risen, Zhang Jingxi got up and went to the bathroom to take a shower. Washing every corner of her body was something she had to do every time she saw Lin Suhengren, and it was also something all girls would do when they were dating their loved ones. After taking a shower, she picked out some more mature lace underwear from the closet. After changing, she found a new white shirt and a women's suit to put on. Although it was a suit, Zhang Jingxi didn't look rigid when she put it on, but looked dignified, majestic, and beautiful. After changing her clothes, she stroked her slightly curly long hair and went to the restaurant on the first floor to have breakfast. "Miss, you're up. Have you had your breakfast served?" Yes, she had already greeted the chefs before going to bed last night, so breakfast was served one by one in a short while. Zhang Jingxi sat at the dining table and opened her mobile phone. She first looked at her friend's top posts and confirmed that her boyfriend Hang Zhang hadn't gotten up yet, and then she went to look through today's work plan. She didn't send Lin Suhengren a good morning message or something like that, for fear of disturbing his rest. Of course, while flipping through her work plan, she would also go back to check Lin Suhengren's chat history, fearing that she would miss the other party's message. On the way to breakfast, Zhang Jingxi heard a slight movement. In Zhang Jin's bedroom on the second floor, her sister actually got up, but her hair looked a little messy. Obviously she didn't go out today, and like herself, she didn't sleep well last night. In the past, Zhang Jingxi would greet her sister in a weird way in the morning, something like, "Qianqian got up? Did you get up so early because of a nightmare?" But she was really angry about what happened last night. "I don't want to pay attention to her this morning." Zhang Jin ignored her sister after coming to the first floor. She sat far away from her and said to the servant, "I'm hungry." The servant nodded. "Okay, then I'll ask the kitchen to make one for the second lady." Zhang Jin reminded, "Don't make the same as my sister." The servant took it as a matter of course. "Okay." After saying that and leaving, Zhang Jin looked at her sister's outfit today and looked at the time, frowning slightly. After finishing her meal and wiping her mouth, Zhang Jingxi got up and went out. Before leaving, she finally said the only sentence of the day to her sister, "I'm going to work. Your brother-in-law is still waiting for me at the company." Zhang Jin at the table gnashed her teeth. She knew it was abnormal for her sister to get up so early. Sure enough, she went to find Lin Suhengren. But this time she was powerless to change the situation. After the servants brought breakfast, Zhang Jin was so angry that she lost her appetite when she picked up the spoon. She shouted, "Xiao Meng! Xiao Meng!" Feng Meng on the second floor rubbed her eyes and walked out of the bedroom in pure white pajamas. "What's wrong, Qianqian? You got up so early today." Zhang Jin drank a mouthful of breakfast porridge fiercely. "Pack up and go shopping with me. My phone fell into the water last night, and I have to buy a new one today." Feng Meng looked at the first floor in confusion. "Did it fall into the water? Isn't your phone waterproof?" "It's fine as long as it's not soaked in water for a long time." "I just soaked it in water for a whole night." Feng Meng blinked dully. Although she didn't ask the reason, she could guess what happened based on her understanding of Zhang Jin. He asked out of boredom, "Did you send a message to Lin Suhengren last night?" Then he didn't dare to look at it and just threw his phone away. Zhang Jin was stunned by what she said and answered irrelevantly, "After buying a new phone, I won't log into my main WeChat account for a while. I will only log into my secondary account during this period before school starts, so if there is anything, just send a message to my secondary account directly." Feng Meng let out a long sigh. "I know, I'll go back to my room to clean up." Zhang Jingxi took a car to the company, and her secretary Pan Lin sat in the passenger seat and looked at Mr. Jiang's outfit today. "Mr. Jiang? Did you not sleep well last night?" Zhang Jingxi was surprised. "Do you have dark circles?" She took out her phone to check her makeup today. Pan Lin shook her head. "No, I just felt that you didn't sleep well." "Don't worry, you still look as beautiful as usual." Zhang Jingxi breathed a sigh of relief. "I didn't sleep well. Did you see me send you a message this morning? Postpone all the unimportant work for today." "I saw it. So will Mr. Lin come to the company today?" Zhang Jingxi would be happy when she heard about Lin Suhengren. "Yes, he's going to the company today." More than half an hour later, In the general manager's office on the 7th floor of Jiangxi Company, Lin's Hengren also came very early today, even earlier than Zhang Jingxi. Because his mother had to go to Jiangxi Music for an interview at noon, he had to get up early to meet her. Lin's Hengren sat in front of the huge boss's desk. Zhang Jingxi brought the documents to him. Zhang, these are some of the more important documents today. Take a look, Lin's Hengren said. Thank you. He continued to look at the documents, signed them, and hurried to deal with them. After being busy for a while, Lin's Hengren turned around and looked at Zhang Jingxi, who was sitting next to him and staring at him. Smiled at him. Zhang Jingxi also smiled gently. Lin's Hengren didn't ask until he finished his work. What's wrong? Nothing, but why did you come to the company so early today? Even earlier than me, and I saw you busy with work when I came, Lin's Hengren said. I have some small things to deal with today, so I'll go there as soon as I finish my work. Zhang Jingxi was disappointed. Something else? Aren't you staying in the company all day? Lin's Hengren smiled and said, no, I'm going to Jiangxi Music later. If you want to go, you can go with me, although it feels a bit of a suspense. Zhang Jingxi was relieved to hear that he was not leaving. What's the matter? You'll know when you get there, but I feel like you seem a little worried today. Really? Nothing. I'm just a little uneasy about what happened last night. Lin's Hengren stretched out his hand, and Zhang Jingxi leaned on his shoulder and was hugged by him. It felt like a boyfriend and girlfriend. Zhang, we won't break up, right? No matter if it's my sister or anyone else who wants to take you away from me, you won't leave me, right? Well, of course, since we're already together, there's no possibility of separation. Zhang Jingxi smiled. That's good. I feel relieved when you say that. She raised her head slightly and looked at Lin's Hengren. The two exchanged glances, their lips moved closer and slowly kissed each other wholeheartedly. Lin's Hengren glanced at the time. It was past 7 o'clock. It's almost time. Jingxi, come with me to Jiangxi Music? Deal with my matter. What's so mysterious? It's my mother's matter, auntie. Yes. At the gate of Jiangxi Music on the other side, more than a dozen taxis stopped on the roadside one after another. Lin's Xiaoli, who was dressed exquisitely in a skirt and long sleeves, got out of the car and paid the driver. She looked at the vehicles coming one after another around her, knowing that they were probably all here for interviews. She swallowed nervously. Chapter 302, The Tense Interview Team. So many people, such a grand company, it looks much bigger than in the pictures. Lin's Xiaoli first looked at the spacious company gate, then looked up at the two-story music company that was extremely wide and long. Her eyes widened, full of awe. The music company building was not a regular rectangle, but in recent years Wang Lan had hired some people to make the company's shell more artistic. There was even a huge artwork logo that looked like a musical note hanging on the company building. This is just a branch company. What would it look like if it was the head office? It's completely different from the small nail salons I worked in before. Lin's Xiaoli was startled by the sudden ring of her cell phone. She quickly took out her cell phone from her pocket and found that it was her husband calling. She cleared her throat, pretended to be calm, and answered the phone. Hello? Husband, Lin Yingjin asked in the company. Wife, have you arrived? How does the company look? Lin's Xiaoli looked up. The company looks very impressive, especially large and spectacular, and she looked around and whispered, there are so many people coming for the interview today, it's so crowded. You can imagine the level of this company. After all, it's a big company. Are you nervous? Lin's Xiaoli had cold sweat on her forehead, but she smiled. I'm a little nervous, but I don't think it's a big deal. I have learned so much about makeup during this period of time, and I think I'm already very proficient. It's good that you have confidence. By the way, do you really not need me to take a leave of absence this morning to accompany you for the interview? I'm not busy this morning. Oh, no. Lin's Xiaoli straightened her chest and waved her hands. She felt very strong and confident and said, it's just a small interview. What hasn't I seen as your wife? You don't have to come to accompany me for the interview. And even if you come, you can't get in. At most, you can just wait at the door. Waiting can also relieve your stress. How can this relieve the pressure? I'm not a child. Our son is already 18 years old. Okay, hang up. I'm going in. Well, come on, wife. I wish you a smooth entry. Lin's Xiaoli. The old couple kissed each other, but after hanging up the phone, Lin's Xiaoli suddenly wilted. It was her first time to interview in such a big company. If she said she wasn't nervous, she felt that her heart rate could reach 300. She took a few deep breaths and silently cheered herself up. I can pass, I can pass, I can pass. I will definitely be accepted. So they joined the huge team of people who came for the interview. The young security guard at the door checked the interview forms one by one. People behind you, line up. Don't talk or make a fuss. Enter one by one. After saying that, the security guard looked at the long line and thought that even if the company is expanding now, it will only recruit more than 30 positions. But how many people have come in these few days? Why does it feel like thousands of people have been there? It's true that good jobs are hard to get. I'll say it again, line up. Otherwise, the more chaotic the line is, the slower it will be, and it will only delay your own interview time. In the vast interview line, the gate on the other side suddenly opened. The security captain walked out of the security booth, holding the intercom. I received a message from the office saying that General Manager Zhang and General Manager Lin will be here later. Everyone must cheer up today. Everyone replied with a received. Sure enough, a Rolls-Royce slowly drove in from the end of the road. Lin Zhengren, who was sitting in the back seat, saw the densely packed interview line from a distance and was surprised. Why are there so many people? He originally thought that even though it was an interview day today, there would only be dozens of people, but it turned out that there was a long line. And the line was several rows, and he couldn't see where his mother was at all. Pan Lin, who was sitting on the front passenger seat, explained, recently, due to the news about Mr. Zhang, our company has become very popular. In addition, with a previous improvement in employee benefits, such interviews have basically become the norm in the past week, and we have already eliminated a batch of online applicants. Lin Zhengren sighed. It is indeed very popular, but can we interview so many people in one day? Don't worry, Mr. Lin, the interviews will be very fast, and batches will come in. By then, job seekers with unqualified skills can be eliminated in half a minute. At most, thousands of people can be interviewed in one day. Zhang Jingshi also glanced at the long line and continued to look at Lin Zhengren. Zhang, you said that your aunt is coming to the company today. What is the important matter? Lin Zhengren smiled, mainly because he wanted to know how nervous his mother was during the interview, so he wanted to be the interviewer himself. There are not many opportunities to tease his mother like this. I'll keep it a secret today, and you'll know later. Zhang Jingshi was curious that Zhang had the leisure time today. Seeing that there was a little fluff on his clothes, she took it off with her hands. This intimate move made the driver and Pan Lin smile unconsciously. When passing through the gate, the security captain and all the security guards puffed out their chests, and the car passed slowly. In the job-seeking team, Lin Xiaoli, holding the interview form, looked at the Rolls-Royce not far away like many others. There were many discussions in the crowd. Wow! Rolls-Royce! This is the first time I've seen it. The person in the car should be the CEO of this company, right? No way. I heard that Wang Lan, the general manager of Jiangxi Music, drives an Audi. It seems that only Mr. Zhang from the head office drives a big Rolls-Royce. Ah, you mean the CEO of the head office is in the car? The one who is very famous in the news? I think it should be. It's so impressive. I have never seen such a big shot in my life. Lin Xiaoli looked at the car that entered the gate and swallowed her saliva. She never thought that the person in the car would have anything to do with her. She just felt that these CEOs would never have anything to do with her in her 8 lifetimes. Anyway, the person she was interviewing was just a makeup artist, and it was a blessing to pass the interview. But then again, Lin Xiaoli looked at the ages of the people around her and felt that all the people who came for the interview were so young. They all seemed to be in their 20s, bright and beautiful, but she was already in her 40s. Although she had passed the makeup certificate exam before, but Lin Xiaoli took out her mobile phone to take a picture of her face. She pursed her lips. Time really spares no one. There are wrinkles at the corners of her eyes. I guess only her husband and baby Renren in the world would say that she is beautiful. Huh? Sister Lin? You are here for an interview too, a very small voice appeared. Lin Xiaoli saw a young girl with loose hair and wearing jeans. She was an apprentice she had taught in the nail salon before. Although she worked very hard, she was squeezed out by her colleagues after only 1 month of study because she was a little silent and not very talkative. Lin Xiaoli also stood up for her in the nail salon, and she also treated Lin Xiaoli to dinner. Seeing an acquaintance, Lin Xiaoli, she became happy all of a sudden. Xiao Shu. Long time no see, you're here too. Well, it's been a long time since we last met, Sister Lin. "What position are you interviewing for?" Lin Xiaoli shook her resume and said with a smile, "Makeup artist. I changed my career because the nail salon closed down. What a coincidence, I was also interviewing for a makeup artist. After I left my job, I felt that the environment of the nail salon was not suitable for me, so I changed to study makeup. It's just right for us to work together." Chapter 303 Special Treatment. After the security check, the interview team entered the first floor lobby of the company in an orderly manner. Facing the spacious music hall, those who came here for the first time were all amazed by the interior decoration and style. A girl named Xiaoshu chatted with Lin Xiaoli about some past events while waiting in line, including what she did after resigning and the specific reasons for resigning at that time. Lin Xiaoli also talked about the nail salon that later went bankrupt. Having an old friend to interview with always eased the tension in her heart. Lin Xiaoli looked at the office in front of the team. "That office is the place for the interview, right? There are 6 people as soon as you enter." Xiaoshu had already investigated the situation of this company. As a socially anxious person, she would not come without a thorough investigation of the company. This company interviews in batches. I saw some posts saying that in addition to the theoretical assessment, there will be a special makeup tester after passing it. Only after passing these 2 levels can you enter the waiting list. Lin Xiaoli was surprised. "Your research is very detailed. These websites don't mention it. But after passing the 2 levels, there must be an audit." "Well, after all, there are too many people coming here for interviews. There are only 15 vacancies for makeup artists, but with this situation, hundreds of people coming for interviews are definitely not a lot. I got even more nervous when you said that." Xiaoshu had a pale smile on her face. Even though she was nervous, she still encouraged the other party. "Don't worry, Sister Lin, you will definitely pass with your ability. As for me, I still can't speak when I'm nervous, and I don't know if I can pass this time." Lin Xiaoli encouraged. "Don't be afraid, Xiaoshu, I know your ability. Such a big company must rely on ability. The 2 of us can definitely make it." "Sister Lin, you are so nice, haha." As soon as the voice fell, a door was suddenly pushed open in the distance, and a middle-aged woman in a suit and a beautiful woman in a suit with long curly hair led a group of people out. Many people looked at the 2 curiously, and they knew they were big leaders. And the 2 were Wang Lan and Zhang Jingxi. Wang Lan said respectfully, "Boss Zhang, why did you and Boss Lin come here suddenly? You didn't tell me in advance so that I could pick you up." Zhang Jingxi smiled and said, "Boss Lin said he had some small things to deal with today, and he didn't tell me what he was going to do specifically. He just asked me to wait here for a while and he would be back soon after going to the bathroom." She said to Zhang Lan, "Just go and get busy. The competition is about to start, right? Let the singers cheer up and don't let them down. You don't have to stay with me here." Zhang Lan smiled. "Don't worry about the competition, I'll go and get busy first. You and Boss Lin can find me if you have anything, okay?" Zhang Jingxi had just finished speaking when she glanced at the interview team unintentionally, and suddenly saw an inexplicably familiar figure in the crowd. Because she changed her clothes and made up, Zhang Jingxi didn't recognize her at first, and even thought she had seen it wrong. But when she looked at her hairstyle and face shape, she confirmed that she was not mistaken. "Ah, Auntie." When she confirmed that the other party was really Lin Sihengren's mother, her peach blossom eyes widened in surprise. How could Lin Sihengren's mother be in the interview line? Still standing in line. This almost scared her to death. This is her future mother-in-law. How could she stand in a long line in her own company? Zhang's mother is her mother. If she has any problems, can't she solve them by just asking? But just when she was about to walk over to apologize, she suddenly remembered something as soon as she raised her high heels. That is, Lin Sihengren said that he came today for his aunt. Although he didn't say what the specific reason was, it was associated with the fact that the aunt was queuing now. Could it be that Zhang had known it long ago? That's not okay. Zhang Jingxi looked at Lin Xiaoli, who was nervously holding the interview form and waiting anxiously. At this moment, it seemed that all the tension was transmitted to Zhang Jingxi. She still felt that it was unreasonable for a daughter-in-law to let her mother-in-law stand in line in her company. She was so scared that she swallowed her saliva. But Zhang hadn't come yet. So she had to call a male employee next to her. "You. Come over here." The employee hurried over. "Mr. Zhang." His voice was respectful and clear, causing Lin Xiaoli and the team to look over here. Zhang Jingxi was even more scared and quickly turned her back to the aunt. She clenched her fist and coughed softly at her mouth. She whispered something to the employee. Did you see the beautiful aunt in the team with a ponytail and a red three-quarter skirt? The male employee glanced at her. Yes, is it the one holding the interview form? I saw Mr. Zhang. Yes, it's her. Go ask her after giving some instructions. The employee nodded. Okay, Mr. Zhang. Don't worry, no problem. After that, Zhang Jingshi quickly found a place to hide and secretly observed. In the line, Xiao Shu saw the two people just now and said to Lin Xiaoli, Sister Lin, did you see them just now? The older man in a suit is the general manager of Xiangxi Music. And the one next to her seems to be the vice president of the head office. Ah, really? The bosses of these companies are so young? Yeah, that should be right. I saw their photos on the internet before. As he spoke, the male employee who was assigned the task walked up to Lin Xiaoli. Hello. The hello scared Lin Xiaoli. Huh? Are you talking to me? The employee nodded and stretched out his hand. Show me your resume. Everyone in the line looked over. Lin Xiaoli didn't understand why and handed her resume to the other party. Here, the employee glanced. Ms. Lin, are you interviewing for a makeup artist? Yes, what's the matter? Lin Xiaoli was puzzled. Come with me for a moment. I have something to tell you in private. Ah, wasn't I eliminated? It's my turn soon. You'll know when you come over. Seeing him walk aside, Lin Xiaoli walked over with a bit of despair in her heart, thinking that she couldn't have been eliminated just because of her age or her face. That was too miserable. She didn't even see the office for the interview. After she walked aside, many other people still looked over, but they couldn't hear the conversation between the two. Lin Xiaoli stammered, Excuse me, what's wrong with my resume? Doesn't it meet the requirements of your company? I have a makeup certificate. And the HR said I could be interviewed before my age? No, I just wanted to ask you. The employee returned the resume to the other party. According to Zhang Jingshi's instructions, he asked word by word, Ms. Lin, are you thirsty? Lin Xiaoli was confused because her brain didn't think in that direction at all. My class? What do you mean by my class? I didn't hear it clearly. Could you please say it again? The male employee smiled respectfully. I'm asking if you are thirsty? Do you want to drink water? Oh, water. She waved her hands. No, I'm not thirsty. I just want to know why you called me out. Oh, nothing. Are you hungry? Have you had breakfast? What do you mean? She didn't understand. Our company has a special tea room. Can I invite you to sit in the tea room? There are some snacks in it. If you have anything you want to eat or drink, tell me and I will ask someone to buy it for you. Or you can ask for anything. I will find someone to buy it for you. The employee looked at the line and added, Oh, I just saw you chatting happily with a lady in front. Is that your friend? You can take her to the tea room to rest. Lin Xiaoli's brain short-circuited, and she became more confused and scared. Sorry. I still don't understand what you are saying. Do you think we chatted while waiting in line? I just don't talk to my friend. I'm sorry. The employee was ashamed. This. You don't have to say sorry to me. I should say sorry to you. What should I do? This person should be someone Mr. Jiang knows, but I seem to have messed up. Lin Xiaoli was terrified. Why do you say sorry to me? It doesn't make sense. Zhang Jingshi, who was behind the door in the distance, held her forehead when she heard these words. Why did she feel that she scared her aunt instead? At this time, Lin Zhangren finally came down from the second floor and saw Zhang Jingshi hiding behind a door on the first floor. He was curious about what Jingshi was doing. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 304, Sure? Why are you here? Jingshi? Why are you hiding here? Zhang Jingshi noticed Lin Zhangren coming over, as if she saw a savior, but she quickly raised a finger to her lips. SHH, Lin Zhangren walked up to her and immediately understood what was going on, because his mother was talking to someone next to him. He glanced at his panicked mother and asked with a smile, Did you know? Zhang Jingshi was frightened and said, Zhang, you are keeping me in suspense. I am scared to death. Why did your aunt come to our company for an interview? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Lin Zhangren saw his mother chat with a male employee for a while and then returned to the team. He roughly understood what happened. Seeing that Jiang Jingshi was indeed a little scared, he took her hand and explained, because my mother's previous workplace went bankrupt, she has been studying makeup seriously recently. She saw on the internet that Jiangxi Music was recruiting makeup artists, and she even took a special exam to give it a try. Jiang Jingshi behind the door glanced at Lin Xiaoli and the team again and swallowed her saliva. Does it still need to try? What kind of noble status does my aunt have? Can she just tell me what she wants to do? Otherwise, I will give the job of makeup director to my aunt. Or, Lin Zhangren interrupted, stop. I guess you would do this. After all, Jingshi is so good to me. If my mother comes, I guess you can arrange a sinecure for her even if she doesn't know anything. But I know my mother's character best. She is a person who takes things seriously, and has studied makeup seriously for so long. If she still relies on relationships in the end, she will really blame me. Seeing Jiang Jingshi puzzled, Lin Zhangren smiled and said, when my mom goes in later, you and I will be the interviewers. We will see how good my mom is. I have great confidence in my mom. She is very serious about learning and has been studying for this job day and night for a long time. Jiang Jingshi looked at Lin Zhangren and said curiously, Zhang, didn't you tell your uncle and aunt that you are starting a company with me? Didn't you tell them that this company is yours? Yes, but my parents will definitely know it today. Lin Zhangren took Jiang Jingshi's hand and said, let's go. It's almost my mom's turn. Let's go be the interviewers. The two entered the office from another door. When Lin Xiaoli and the team went back, many interviewers asked her curiously, what's wrong? What did they say when they called you out just now? Lin Xiaoli didn't understand the questions from everyone. They asked me what kind of water I drank and what I ate in the morning. I guess it was some interview survey. They said some inexplicable things to me and let me go back. Everyone lost interest after this. Many companies would do such things as randomly surveying interviewees. A girl named Xiaoshu asked with concern, Sister Lin, are you okay? Lin Xiaoli laughed. It was a false alarm. It's okay. It's okay. I thought I was going to be eliminated. I was scared to death. Xiaoshu clenched the documents tightly. It's our turn in the next batch. I'm so nervous. Sister Lin, come on. Yeah. Lin Xiaoli gave herself a last pep talk. I must pass the interview. As the first batch of interviewees came out one by one, a voice came from the office. The next batch, so Lin Xiaoli, Xiaoshu, and the other 4 interviewees pushed open the door and entered the office one by one. Everyone looked nervous, walked in step, stood in a row with resumes and interview forms in both hands, and greeted in unison, hello, interviewer. Who knew that after saying that, Lin Xiaoli looked up at the 4 interviewers in front of her. She was really stunned. Her pupils shrank, her lips slightly opened, and her heart stopped. All eyes were focused on the youngest interviewer. This interviewer from a big company, this handsome boy, looked like her son Ranran. The nose, ears, eyes, body, and mouth were similar. Isn't this Ranran? Ranran, she blurted out, why are you here? After she finished speaking, everyone looked at Lin Xiaoli. Jiang Jingshi was pursing her lips in fear. Lin Zhangren deliberately coughed and sat there and answered seriously, interviewer, who is Ranran? Please don't try to get close to him. Lin Xiaoli was sure that this was Ranran, her son. With this expression and this voice, she would never make a mistake as a mother. Wait, is this girl next to Ranran the rich girl who came to visit her home some time ago? I think her name is Jiang Jingshi. What's going on? Lin Zhangren said solemnly, okay, 6 interviewers, I am your interviewer. Let me ask you a few questions about makeup in turn. Lin Zhangren is proficient in everything and is good at any industry. Interviewee number 1 will answer first. Number 1 is Lin Xiaoli. Lin Zhangren, excuse me, how do you adjust the cosmetics and techniques according to the customer's skin type? Lin Xiaoli was stunned by her son's serious question. Seeing that everyone was looking at her, she didn't know what was going on but answered immediately, oh. When designing makeup for a customer, I will first understand their skin type through observation and communication, and adjust the products and techniques accordingly to ensure that the makeup is suitable and healthy. For example, Lin Xiaoli said some based on various cases, and the others listened carefully and thought it was amazing. Lin Zhangren nodded, not bad. The mother rolled her eyes at her son who didn't know why he was sitting there, thinking that Mom, I am really talented. Lin Zhangren asked Jiang Jingshi, you can ask one too? I ask, Jiang Jingshi whispered in Lin Zhangren's ear, is it okay? I think Auntie is very good, just one question and you passed? Isn't it too perfunctory? He asked back. You're just being perfunctory? That's really amazing. Zhang Jingshi looked at Lin Zhengren pleadingly, touching his thigh with her hand under the table. Lin Zhengren had no choice but to nod. Okay, then do you two have any questions? He asked the other two interviewers. As a result, the other two interviewers shook their heads like rattles. In fact, compared with the 6 interviewees, these 2 interviewers were more nervous, because the 2 people next to them were the vice president and the general manager of the head office. Who dared to speak? Each one was extremely nervous, with sweat on their foreheads and palms. Lin Zhengren had no choice but to say, okay, then it's number 2. Xiao Shu nodded. Lin Zhengren asked another question. Xiao Shu was stunned for a moment and looked at Lin Zhengren's face. He suddenly became very nervous and blushed. My answer to this question is, Lin Zhengren, don't be in a hurry, take your time. Xiao Shu finished speaking intermittently. The answer was correct, but she was too nervous. Lin Zhengren asked the next few in turn and found that these people's level was really not as good as his mother. In fact, it was quite different. After a round, all the contestants who passed will be in a new waiting area. It was just that Lin Xiaoli was completely confused, but Xiao Shu was happy that she passed, and even said to Lin Xiaoli in surprise, Sister Lin, did you see it just now? That very young man and woman, they seem to be the vice president and the general manager of our head office. Lin Xiaoli, who was still confused at first, was even more surprised when she heard this. What, didn't you watch the news? That general manager is the angel girl Zhang Jingshi, the vice president of our head office. As for the general manager, I found out after checking a lot of information. It is said that he is a young man of the same age as general manager Zhang, and he is very handsome. So from the conversation between the two just now, the young handsome guy should be the general manager of our head office. This is the first time I have seen him too. Lin Xiaoli was stunned for half a minute before frowning. Huh? Who did you say is the general manager of Xiangxi Company? Ranran. Chapter 305. My son is the general manager. Of course, Xiao Shu didn't quite understand. What do you mean by that? You accidentally mentioned that during the interview just now. Who is that? Of course it is. Seeing that the other party didn't speak, Xiao Shu found the news that he had read a few days ago on his mobile phone and handed it to Lin Xiaoli. Sister Lin, look, the news about the angel girl Zhang Jingshi. Doesn't she look exactly like the person who just interviewed us? Lin Xiaoli took the phone and saw the headline introduction on the news. A week ago, Zhang Jingshi, the deputy general manager of Jiwang's group, was suffering from a terminal illness, but she recovered by her own miracle. It is a miracle. Experts are currently unable to give a reasonable explanation. Netizens suspect that it is an angel descending to the earth. She simply flipped through it and looked at the photos in the news. Confirmed that it was the same person. So, the girl who just interviewed her and visited her home with gifts a few days ago is not an ordinary rich girl. It is Zhang Jingshi, the deputy general manager of Xiangxi Company, the most famous company in Zidong City. A big boss worth hundreds of millions? And her son is the general manager of this company worth billions. This is too much? She was in a state of freezing for a while. Think about it, the family savings are only enough for the down payment of her house in the city, and the car we drive is a 100,000 yuan vehicle, and the dowry for Ranran to marry a wife is not yet fully prepared. I thought I would need to make a lot of money in the future to accomplish these things. But now you tell me that what my husband and I earn in a whole year may not be as much as what Ranran earns in a day? After brainstorming, Lin Xiaoli returned the phone to the other party and said, wait a minute, I'll call my family. Then she took out her phone and called her son Lin Zhengren. The phone beeped a few times. Lin Zhengren on the other end picked up. Lin Xiaoli walked to the corner and covered her mouth, trembling. Hello? Ranran? I'm your mother. Yes, I know. What's wrong with you? I'm telling you, Ranran. I didn't believe it at first. I thought it was really you, but I seemed to have hallucinations just now. I saw someone who looked a lot like you, and he even had the same name as you. It's so scary. When I called his name just now, he asked me who Ranran was. It's no wonder that Lin Xiaoli doubted her life, mainly because her son was still in high school, and at the age of 18, he was still hanging out with women all day. Now you tell me that he is starting a business? And he is the boss of a company with tens of thousands of people? I don't believe it. Lin Zhengren was embarrassed on the other end. Mom, that's enough. Didn't you recognize me just now? Why are you pretending to be stupid? If I say I'm not Ranran, you really don't recognize me, right? Silly and innocent mother, how can she be like He Qing, acting stupid when stimulated? Ah. It's really you. Lin Xiaoli was even more surprised. Although she was sure in her heart that it was her son, she felt it was too ridiculous, so she wanted to call to confirm. As soon as the voice fell, the door of the second round selection room was pushed open, and Pan Lin walked in. Pan Lin was also shocked when she learned about the matter from General Manager Zhang in the backstage. So she hurried here to find General Manager Lin's mother. Hello, Auntie. Do you still remember me? Lin Xiaoli turned around with her mobile phone and saw the person coming. Yes, she suddenly remembered that this was the woman who followed Jiang Jingxi when she came to her house before. Pan Lin said respectfully, I am General Manager Jiang's secretary Pan Lin, please come with me. I will take you to place. General Manager Jiang's secretary is the girl's secretary. Oh, where are you going? Reception room. I will lead the way for you. Pan Lin pushed the door open and made a gesture of invitation. Lin Xiaoli felt like she was dreaming. She held the phone and whispered to her son, Hello, Ranran, someone asked me to go with him. It's Mr. Jiang's secretary, just go with him. You'll see me later. I'm hanging up first. Hey. Don't hang up. The call was hung up. Lin Xiaoli grinned at Pan Lin. Seeing that the other party was still pushing the door for her and looked respectful, Lin Xiaoli had never been treated like this in her life. So, with everyone and Xiao Shu confused, Lin Xiaoli followed Pan Lin out. Through a corridor that was not very long but extremely quiet. Lin Xiaoli followed behind Pan Lin, and could only hear the clacking sound of their high heels. Although she already had a file in her mind, she was still curious and asked, Miss Pan, right? Pan Lin stopped and nodded seriously. Yes, my name is Pan Lin, you can just call me Xiao Pan. Lin Xiaoli was flattered and waved her hands in panic. Miss Pan, you don't have to answer so formally, just continue to lead the way, I'm just asking casually. Oh, okay. The two continued to walk forward. Lin Xiaoli whispered, Excuse me, who is the general manager of this company? The current general manager of Xiangxi Music Company is Wang Lan, but Xiangxi Music is just one of the branches of Xiangxi Company. Xiangxi Company currently has 3 branches. The general manager of the head office is Lin Hengren, and the deputy general manager is Jiang Jingxi. Oh my god, it's Mr. Lin. Swallowed his saliva. If I understand correctly, this big company belongs to Ran, all of them belong to Mr. Lin. Pan Lin half turned her head and smiled. Yes, you can say that, all of them belong to Mr. Lin, including Xiangxi Music where you are currently working. She then changed her words, all of them belong to your son. When Lin Xiaoli heard the 3 words your son, her eyes widened again, and her breathing seemed to stagnate. Oh my god, what has Ranran done without telling me all these years? Finally walked to the reception room. Pan Lin pushed the door open. There was a sofa and coffee table in the reception room, and Jiang Jingxi and Lin Hengren were standing and talking. Seeing Lin Xiaoli coming, Jiang Jingxi gave Pan Lin a look, meaning to let her go and get busy. Pan Lin closed the door and left. After the click of the door closing, Jiang Jingxi was the first to speak. She walked forward with apologetic look, half bowed and sincerely apologized. Auntie, I'm really sorry. I was sitting in the room for the interview just now, but I asked you to stand. I hope you won't be angry. Please sit down and take a rest. Seeing the other party's humility, Lin Xiaoli raised her hand. It's okay, it's okay. She subconsciously looked at her son and called the other party's nickname with a suspicious face. Ranran. Lin Hengren grinned perfunctorily. Mom, yes, it's me. Lin Xiaoli took a deep breath and covered her mouth. Ranran. Do you know what Mom is thinking now? Lin Hengren was too familiar with his mother, almost. Do you want to see if I'm real? Is that so? Can Mom try it? It's up to you. Lin Xiaoli slowly walked in front of Lin Hengren and pinched Lin Hengren's face with her hands. Lin Hengren felt speechless, but who made the other party his own mother? Lin Xiaoli touched Lin Hengren's head again, tapped it to feel it, and smelled the smell on Lin Hengren's head. She was 100% sure, it's true. Jiang Jingxi didn't understand what the mother and son were doing, so she just said gently, Auntie, please sit down first. You are tired after standing all morning. I know you must have a lot of questions. Just ask them slowly and I will answer them one by one. Lin Hengren also said, Mom, please sit down and take a rest. Thank you for the 5,000 starting coins rewarded by the Big Brother Wu Lei Lazybug. Thank you for the 500 starting coins rewarded by the Big Brother Juyu Chenzin. Thank you for the 100 starting coins rewarded by the Big Brother Xiao Wang Shushi. Bow to thank you. Chapter 306 Experience. The three of them sat on the sofa, but Lin Xiaoli was a little nervous. When she looked at her son, she felt that his temperament had changed. Although she didn't know where it had changed. Zhang Jingshi personally poured tea for Lin Xiaoli. Auntie, have some tea. Oh, thank you. You call me Xiao Jingshi, right? Zhang Jingshi nodded gently. Yes, you can call me that. Lin Xiaoli picked up the teacup and took a sip, feeling that the taste of this tea was different from the taste of drinking at home. It must be expensive. Put down the teacup, although I already know that I am not dreaming, but, what is going on? How did Ranran become the general manager of Xiangxi Company? He is obviously still a student, just an adult, and he should not have much money to start a business. Zhang Jingshi smiled. This is a long story. If we really want to talk about it, we have to start from 3 years ago. 3 years ago? Well, it has to start from the first time I met Zhang at the gate of the high school. Oh no, it should start from my sister. Lin Xiaoli heard the blind spot at once. Zhang? Such an intimate name. But she didn't ask in a hurry. After all, there were too many things she wanted to know now. She had to listen carefully bit by bit to know the whole story. Don't worry, Xiao Jingshi, tell me slowly. Zhang Jingshi recalled the past, and her eyes suddenly became a little dreamy. 3 years ago, my sister was admitted to high school. About a month after the start of school, I saw that she was in a strange state when she came home. Later, after investigation, I found out that she met a rival in school, so I drove to school by myself. In the next half an hour, Zhang Jingshi roughly described how she met Lin Hengren and how she met him in the competition. Later, it was a childhood marriage, gradually getting familiar with each other, and finally starting a business. Lin Xiaoli was amazed when she heard half of it. Wait, a childhood marriage? Jingshi, are you the childhood marriage that Ranran's grandfather mentioned? Zhang Jingshi explained. Well, but it wasn't me at the beginning. At the beginning, the grandfather actually said it was my sister, but in fact, it was me who was arranged to marry at the beginning. This sentence made Lin Xiaoli's brain short-circuit. However, Lin Hengren gave a brief explanation, that is to say, at the beginning, it was Jingshi and I who were betrothed. Later, because I was born late, her sister was replaced by her. Then, when we went on a blind date, it became Jingshi again. Lin Xiaoli took a deep breath and discovered another key point. Ranran also called her Jingshi. She picked up the teacup and took another sip of tea, looking at her son. I understand a little bit. But this means that you two are really destined to be together. I always thought that your childhood engagement was over. After all, I didn't see Ranran mention it again. Lin Hengren, after all, I have been very busy in the past few years. Lin Xiaoli swallowed. Mom really believed it this time. What next? She continued to ask Zhang Jingshi. Zhang Jingshi smiled and said, then I saw Zhang's potential. I provided the money and Zhang provided the manpower to open this Xiangxi company 3 years ago. Zhang far exceeded my expectations. He is so capable that he has increased the company's profits more than tenfold in just 3 years. And I don't know if you have seen the news recently, but after I had a serious illness, it was a blessing in disguise that the company made more profit than before. That's why the company has been recruiting people until now. Lin Xiaoli exclaimed. It was just like listening to the autobiographies of those entrepreneurs. The things you two have experienced can be written into a book. It's so inspiring. And, she turned her head to look at her son, and suddenly tears streamed down her face. She bit her lip and trembled, deeply moved, and her eyes were watery. My Ranran is really great. You have worked hard these years, Ranran. Mom didn't know you were doing such a great thing with others. If I had known, I should have made more delicious food for you all these years. Lin Xiaoli stretched out her hand, unable to control her emotions. After all, she had been working in society for so many years and knew the hardships of this society. Even if the two of them said it was easy, there must be a lot of troubles inside. Ranran, mommy, hug me. You are so amazing, you are mommy's pride. Lin Hengren was ashamed. No need, mommy. I'm not a child, come on. What's there to be embarrassed about with mommy? And there are no outsiders here, only Xiao Jingshi is here, the atmosphere is here, silly and sweet mom. Lin Hengren is really convinced. Hold me, woo woo woo, my Ranran has really grown up. Lin Xiaoli hugged her son and touched her son's head. Jiang Jingshi couldn't help laughing when she saw this scene, but she was afraid that Lin Zhengren would be embarrassed, so she deliberately covered her lips with her wrist. But she didn't expect that Zheng Zheng, who is always calm, really acted like a child in front of his aunt. After a simple hug, Lin Zhengren also took out 2 tissues and handed them to Lin Xiaoli. Lin Xiaoli took a tissue and wiped her tears with her lips pursed with emotion. She said in a trembling voice because of crying, "I understand everything, but Ranran can achieve such a great achievement now. It is really thanks to Xiao Jingshi, otherwise our family would not have much funds. Even if Ranran had great ability to achieve this step alone, I don't know how long it would take to struggle. Thank you so much," Jiang Jingshi emphasized. "Actually not. I have seen Zhang Zhang's ability in those years. I know that even without my help, it is only a matter of time for him to rise. On the contrary, I am very grateful that Zhang Zhang can start a company with me." She looked at Lin Zhengren with admiration. "With him, the company is developing better and better now. The money I invested at that time is just a drop in the bucket compared to the current funds. I really thank him." Lin Xiaoli knew that a lot of things must have happened between the two of them, so she stopped interrupting. But she asked again, "Just now, Xiao Jingshi, you said you were sick. What's the matter? What's the news about the terminal illness self-healing?" Jiang Jingshi paused and looked at Lin Zhengren, as if asking if she could say it. After Lin Zhengren nodded, she said, "It's true, Auntie, and it was Zhang Zhang who saved my life, but the reporters didn't know about this, and the news didn't write about it." "Ah, really?" she asked her son in confusion. "How did you do it?" "You're not a doctor," Lin Zhengren reminded. "Didn't I read medical books at home for many days some time ago?" "Mom, have you forgotten? It was during those days that I accidentally found a way to cure the disease, and then I cured Jingshi's disease," Jiang Jingshi hummed, blushing and gratefully saying, "So for me, Zhang Zhang is not only my career leader but also my lifesaver. He has done me so much good that I don't know how to repay him." Lin Xiaoli felt that the gold content of these words was too heavy. She looked at the eyes and reactions of the two people. "Xiao Jingshi, Ranran. Could it be that you two are already?" Jiang Jingshi nodded. "Yes, Auntie, I am already Zhang Zhang's girlfriend." Lin Xiaoli was amazed, her eyes were dazed, and suddenly many figures inexplicably emerged from her mind. "You are really together?" Through the experience just now, as an elder, she actually likes this girl named Jiang Jingshi. She is gentle, generous and she admires Ranran very much. They even founded a company together. But what about Xiao Qingqing, Wenwen, Lily, Xianming and the others? Chapter 307 Husband, I have big news for you. Seeing Lin Xiaoli's expression, Lin Zhengren roughly knew why his mother was stunned there. However, he also knew that he would marry several girls in the future, and his parents would know it sooner or later, so he simply took advantage of Jingshi's confession this time. When the family meeting is held later, tell the real situation. Since you are going to have a harem, just do it openly. Mom, anyway, this is how it is. So, are you still interviewing the makeup artist? Lin Xiaoli reacted after hearing her son's cry, clenched her fists in front of her chest and set an example very righteously. Of course. Even if Ranran becomes a billionaire, as a mother I still have to work. I can't just spend your money at such a young age. Mom can't do that. Even if your dad is here, he will definitely say the same thing. Adults should also have their own careers, can you imagine it? In that case, you will continue to have the second interview? Real makeup? Lin Zhengren asked. Of course I have to go. But, Lin Xiaoli put a hand on her lips, suddenly worried again, and asked in a low voice, but do you two think I can pass? I have studied hard for a long time recently, but I start to get nervous when I think about the interview for such a big company. Jiang Jingshi laughed. If I can't pass, the leader of the makeup department can consider changing people. You will definitely pass. By the way, can Zhang Zhang and I accompany you? Is that okay, Zhang Zhang? Anyway, there's nothing else to do today. Yeah, Lin Zhengren nodded. I originally came to watch my mother's interview. Let's go together. I also want to see my mother's on the spot level. I still trust my mother very much. Lin Xiaoli blinked and smiled, thinking that she was really amazing. Two CEOs accompanied her to the interview. The final result was not unexpected. Lin Xiaoli passed. It was quite easy. Although Lin Zhengren and Jiang Jingshi did not mention the relationship between Lin Xiaoli and them throughout the whole process, they just stood aside and observed the many interviewees. But the leaders of any department are the smartest of the smart. Especially the leaders of the entertainment industry. In addition, Lin Xiaoli and Lin Hengren are naturally similar. Even if the two of them don't say anything. As a department leader, he can also understand something. Department leader, I'm scared this newcomer who came for the interview actually looks a bit like Mr. Lin. It makes people think deeply. As for Xiaoshu, although she still couldn't change her nervousness and was sweating profusely when putting on makeup, her professional level was good enough. In addition, after Lin Xiaoli was admitted, she said come on to Xiaoshu, which was heard by the leader of the makeup department. So Xiaoshu, who should have been a candidate, was selected together. Lin Hengren watched the whole process from the side and felt that it was a bit of a backdoor, but as long as she was capable, maybe she could make great achievements in the makeup department. After the interview, Zhang Jingshi's phone rang. It was about the company. After talking to Lin Hengren walked over and greeted his mother. Mom, Jingxi and I have something else to do, so we will go back to the head office first. You should go home slowly later, Lin Xiaoli responded, not daring to disturb her son's business. Okay, then you guys go back quickly, be careful on the road, Ranran. Will you drive? Zhang Jingxi smiled, Auntie with a driver, I will arrange a driver later. Lin Xiaoli smiled awkwardly and grinned, yes, bosses all have drivers, I forgot, but I forget it, I can just take a taxi, haha. Then bye, Ranran, are you going home tonight? Lin Hengren nodded, I'll go back if there's nothing else. After the department leader sent the two CEOs away, Xiaoshu beside Lin Xiaoli came over and asked in confusion, Sister Lin, how come you know the two CEOs of this company? They look so familiar. Lin Xiaoli blinked, thinking that her son had such a high status. She couldn't say that she was the general manager's mother when she was working all day, right? That would be annoying at work. It was better to keep it a secret so as not to cause trouble to her son, so she just smiled at Xiaoshu's answer. Yes, I am a little familiar with him, but just a little bit. Xiaoshu had a question mark on her face. She blushed and smiled, but our boss is really handsome. This is the first time I have seen such a handsome guy in person. The vice president is also very beautiful. Seeing Xiaoshu's blushing face, Lin Xiaoli thought of the many girls who liked her son. But what to do? Although she has passed the interview, because other people are still candidates, Lin Xiaoli cannot start work immediately. She has to wait 3 days. When she left the company in high heels, Lin Xiaoli stood at the door and looked back at the long interview line and the huge company. Even though she knew that this was her son's company, she did not change her mentality but was even more shocked. It's amazing. Such a big company, I dare not even dream of it, she shuddered with excitement and pride. She quickly took out her mobile phone and called her husband. Lin Yingjin was having lunch at the company now. When he heard the phone, he picked up the phone. Hello, wife? Is the interview over? Lin Xiaoli was so happy that she stuttered. Husband. I have super big news to tell you. A huge good news. If you have nothing to do today, can you take a leave? I will talk to you all afternoon after you take a leave. It's really epic news, huh? Lin Yingjin thought his wife was really cute. You mean you passed the interview? Great, I have nothing to do today anyway. Since I passed, I will celebrate with my wife at home. No. Not this, no? What do you mean? Did you pass or not? Oh, I passed. But I want to say that it's not this thing. It's something that is 10,000 times, no, 100,000 times, oh no, 1 million times more important than me passing. Anyway, you should go home soon, and I will tell you when you go home. After that, Lin Xiaoli also hissed, by the way, remember not to make it public, so as not to cause trouble for Ranran. Huh? Why are you so mysterious about the interview? But I know. An hour later. In the bedroom of a resident of Zijin Garden. After Lin Yingjin finished listening to his wife's words in bed, his voice was louder than a loudspeaker. What did you say? The general manager of Xiangxi Company is our son. You said Ranran is now a big boss worth hundreds of millions. The voice even deafened Lin Xiaoli, but fortunately she had prepared to cover her ears. The couple had the same nature. After her husband was over, Lin Xiaoli clenched her fists happily and nodded, yes. Ranran is now a big boss. And do you remember the girl who came to our house as a guest and gave us a lot of gifts? That was the deputy general manager of Xiangxi Company. Listen carefully, not the deputy general manager of the branch I went to today, but the deputy general manager of the head office. Angel's daughter Jiang Jingxi, you can even find her on the news. Lin Yingjin was like a wooden man, with his mouth open and eyes staring. Oh my god, it's bullshit. Chapter 308, Ranrun, you are the pride of your parents. Chapter 308 Ranrun, you are the pride of your parents. After getting the truth, the couple sat at the head of the bed with their legs curled up. Lin Xiaoli held her husband's arm, while Lin Yingjin searched various news and unpopular posts about Jiangxi Company in recent years on his mobile phone. Lin Xiaoli pointed at her mobile phone and kept saying, read this news, then read that news. And then read that. Lin Yingjin stared at all the news numbly, and was so shocked that he couldn't be more shocked, like a dream. It was not until half a day later, after reading countless posts, that Lin Yingjin seemed to finally sense the reality. He suddenly sat up straight on the bed, and his soul returned to his place. He turned his head and looked at his wife blankly. Lin Xiaoli was startled when she saw her husband's unusual behavior. What's wrong with you, husband? Why did you suddenly sit up like a spring? Lin Yingjin grinned and grabbed his wife's shoulders excitedly. Wife? Doesn't this mean that we will become second-generation rich in the future? We don't have to worry about money for all kinds of big things, of course. Lin Xiaoli smiled, and she said, in the future, my husband and I will be second-generation rich, and Ranrun will be first-generation rich. After that, she whispered, although it feels weird, it's true. That night, Lin Zhengren returned home from Jiangxi Company. He knocked on the door and found that no one responded in the house. It seemed that his parents were not at home. As a result, when he took the key to open the door, suddenly, there were two bangs, and countless colored pieces and ribbons fell from the sky. Lin Xiaoli and Lin Yingjin were holding paintball guns in their hands, and there were banners on the house and balloons hanging around. The couple raised their hands and cheered, "Welcome General Manager Ranrun home. Long live Ranrun, long live son." Lin Zhengren was embarrassed and stunned. Mom and Dad, what are you two doing? Are you crazy? The couple rushed over and hugged Lin Zhengren. Lin Xiaoli was moved and said, Ranrun, you really make your mother proud? Lin Yingjin also hugged Lin Zhengren and burst into tears. Son, you are Dad's pride. Dad never thought you would have such a great achievement. You really make Dad look at you with new eyes. Lin Xiaoli sobbed. Before, when you were not at home every night, I called you and thought you went out to play, but I didn't expect that you were busy with such things. From now on, Mom will no longer cause trouble for you. As long as you say it's a company matter, Mom will not urge you. My son is so awesome. Lin Zhengren was ashamed, thinking that Mom, you don't urge me to go home very often. After all, you have such a good relationship with Dad. Every time I am not at home, you two are probably living a happy life together. Sometimes when I come back in the morning, I can still see the roses that were not cleaned up on the floor of your bedroom. Lin Xiaoli looked at Lin Zhengren. Come on, let Mommy kiss you a few times. Momoamu Lin Yingjin also looked at Lin Zhengren. Son, come on, let Daddy kiss you a few times. Momoamu Lin Zhengren felt the saliva on both sides of his cheeks, with a look of despair. His face felt so dirty. That night, Lin Yingjin's family of three had a big meal. Extremely excited. However, because this matter was too big, even though he was excited, Lin Yingjin, as the head of the family, quickly calmed down and raised some issues during the meal. For example, Ranrun, although you have a lot of money now, your parents will not ask you to spend money unless it is something that cannot be solved. In addition, your mother and I will not go out and talk nonsense about you being the general manager, which can save our family a lot of trouble. And other things that are both important and not so important. A few days later, the college entrance examination results came out. Very uniformly, almost all high school students in the province were nervously searching for their college entrance examination results from the official website today. After Lin Yingjin and Lin Xiaoli knew that they could search for the results today, they began to stay in front of the computer. Sit back and wait, staring at the screen without saying a word. Lin Zhengren didn't care at all. He lay on the bed, watching his parents sitting by his bed with a laptop. Lin Xiaoli took her husband's arm and asked, how many points do you think Ranrun can get? Lin Yingjin shook his head and replied, it's hard to say, but it shouldn't be a big problem, right? Our Ranrun has been a genius since he was a child, and he inherited my intelligence and talent very early. Yeah, he also inherited mine. Lin Zhengren yawned speechlessly and turned over. Lin Xiaoli turned around and asked, Ranrun? Aren't you going to see how many points you have? This is a major event that only happens once in a lifetime. Lin Zhengren waved his hand, not interested. Mother Lin Xiaoli sighed and gave a thumbs up. As expected of a big entrepreneur, this pattern is different. The prime minister can hold a boat in his stomach. Husband Lin Yingjin also turned back to praise. My son is really cool, just like me. Lin Zhengren. Finally, he could search for grades. Lin Yingjin immediately entered his son's candidate number and other information on the official website. After confirming that everything was correct, he reminded his wife, I want to check it. Well, I'm so nervous. Lin Xiaoli squeezed her hands. Check. Lin Yingjin pressed the mouse. Then the couple looked at the screen nervously, but found that there was no score displayed, but in font. The scores of all subjects were not visible. Both were confused. Lin Xiaoli asked her husband, what's this? There are no scores here. Is the web page stuck? Refresh it quickly. She saw that Lin Yingjin's hand did not move, but his eyes suddenly lit up after being confused. Asked, husband? Refresh it, quickly. What are you waiting for? Lin Yingjin said, wait. I'll try refreshing it first. Don't worry, after refreshing, it was still the same. Lin Yingjin was puzzled. Why is this? Why can't I find it? Is the computer broken? Lin Yingjin stared at his wife with big eyes and whispered, top 50 in the province. I said our Ranran is in the top 50 in the province. Why? How did you know? Lin Yingjin looked at his poor student wife, because the top 50 in the province don't show the results. So our son's results are in the top 50 in the province. He turned around and looked at his son, Ranran. You scored in the top 50 in the province. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Zhengren picked up the muted mobile phone, which showed that countless people had been calling Lin Zhengren since the beginning. It wasn't the three little ones or people in the company who called. It was the admissions teams of various schools. Lin Zhengren, you are too slow to check. I knew it after hearing the calls from the mobile phone for a few minutes. The couple looked at each other and jumped up excitedly. They hugged their son and kissed him madly on the bed again. Lin Xiaoli, Ranran, let mom kiss you a few more times. Momo, you are really mom's pride. Mom is so happy. Ha. Lin Yingjin also hugged his son. Son. Let dad kiss you a few more times. Momo, you are really dad's greatest pride. My son is so handsome. Lin Zhengren didn't want to say anything more, feeling the two people's impolite complaints. I just washed my face and lay on the bed, Lin Xiaoli said excitedly. So what? You just lie on the bed, mom will wash you later, don't worry. But then again, she suddenly asked her husband a question. Husband, Ranran is a big boss now. Isn't it a bit of putting the cart before the horse to be a big boss and go to college? The order is reversed, right? Lin Yingjin was also stunned while kissing and blinked. Good question, wife, I really can't answer this question. Quotation mark. Chapter 309 University begins. The couple looked at Lin Zhengren together. Until they heard Lin Zhengren's affirmative answer, it's against the grain, but you must go to school, otherwise why take the college entrance examination? Lin Xiaoli nodded, that makes sense. College is an important experience in life. Youth is gone forever. It's a loss if you don't experience it, Lin Yingjin said. Besides, college time is very free, and it's enough for Ranran to do what he wants. After the college entrance examination results came out, the family's phone calls were almost bombarded in the past few days. Lin Zhengren's talent has been famous since he was a child, so many relatives will call to ask. Regardless of whether they really care or not, Lin Xiaoli and Lin Yingjin will treat it as a blessing. Reporting the good news, some are really happy, and some are just pretending to be happy but actually hang up the phone to death. As for the admissions offices of various schools, Lin Zhengren also received several calls. Most of them throw out various benefits. As long as you register, you can get a scholarship or a 7-day trip for the whole family. Benefits are the most basic. But Lin Zhengren still wants to go to the university of his dreams. Oh, Lin Zhengren never mentioned this university in his mind. In fact, he wanted to apply for it when he saw it by accident in the first year of high school. The name is Tsinghua Peking University, can also be shortened to Tsinghua Peking University. Yes, it is so magical. In this world, there are not only Tsinghua University and Peking University, but also Tsinghua Peking University, which is a combination of the two. It is reasonable to say that such a name cannot be used, at least not on the previous world, but this world exists. Who knows what the specific situation is that this school can be successfully established. In short, It is said that the score admission line of this school is a little higher than that of Tsinghua Peking University, but because it is a newly built school a few years ago, so many facilities are very luxurious, and Lin Zhengren is quite interested. After the college entrance examination results came out, the three little ones also reported to Lin Zhengren as soon as they checked the results. Naturally, they were all good news. Only Han Wenwen's scoreline was a little dangerous, just passing the admission line. But even if it didn't pass, it didn't matter. Because Tsinghua Peking University even sent someone to find Lin Zhengren these 2 days, and they didn't call, but visited him in person as soon as possible. Several people were sent over to prevent Lin Zhengren from being poached by others. They even guarded their door like security guards, and wanted to invite them to stay in a high-end hotel temporarily. After all, what was Lin Zhengren's ranking in grades? The various schools knew it best, and the news could not be suppressed for a few days. During this period, Tsinghua University and Peking University proposed various benefits. Lin Ziali and Lin Yingjin were also students, and they never thought that the school would really be so competitive. Money, time, and benefits were all given. There was even one, classmate Lin Zhengren, if you have a girlfriend who is a few points short of being admitted to our school can also make an exception and admit her together. As long as you are successfully admitted, anything is fine. As long as it is not too excessive. We can discuss it. Lin Ziali and Lin Yingjin were really shocked. This is the world of academic bullies. Green lights are given all the way, and it is the kind of one person's success brings prosperity to the whole family. So in summary, even if Han Wenwen performs a little abnormally, it will not be a big deal, and she will still be admitted. It's just a matter of Lin Zhengren's words. This side is lively. On the other side, in the Jiang family villa, Jiang Jin and Jiang Jingshi sat on the sofa, while Grandpa Jiang, Father Jiang and Mother Jiang were looking at the information in their hands. Father Jiang praised, Jin Jin did really well in the exam this time, second in the province. We have to celebrate tonight. Mother Jiang was pleased. That's great. This result is already very unusual. Our family has finally produced a genius in learning. Jiang Jin asked someone to check the exact results at that time, and as soon as she heard that she was second, she knew who was first. However, this college entrance examination was considered lucky, because she had a quarrel with Fang Meng before the exam. If Lin Zhengren had not been involved during the period, this incident would definitely have caused Jiang Jin's test results to be somewhat unsatisfactory, and the results at that time would probably be very different from now. Grandpa Jiang said, not bad, not bad. There is only a small gap between us and the first place. Jiang Jin sat on the sofa with a blank expression. She knew her own ability. Actually, there is a big gap. Grandpa, he got the first place because his score was the highest. I got these scores because my highest score was these scores. This time, I was in the best condition for the college entrance examination, but there is still a big gap between us. Mother Jiang, isn't this a bit too modest? Jiang Jin said coldly. Really not modest at all. Father and Mother Jiang were speechless, surprised that their little daughter had never been so convinced by someone. Jiang Jingshi, who had quarreled with her sister in the past few days, rarely said a sentence when she heard the good news. Congratulations, Kaianqian. Jiang Jin glanced at her sister and said indifferently, thank you, sister. The two sisters looked at each other, and after gazing into each other's eyes, they turned their heads and snorted again, still ignoring each other. Mother Jiang looked at Fang Meng, and Xiameng, your results are also quite good. Fang Meng smiled, thank you, madam, for the compliment. A lot of things happened during this period after the college entrance examination, but it finally ended hastily after the results came out. In the blink of an eye, the time for university registration is coming. Lin Zhengren contacted Little Fox and Zhang Zuli in advance, and the three of them gathered together. In fact, Lin Zhengren occasionally visited Lily's house and Han Wenwen's house during this period. After all, they were so close, and he would definitely visit his girlfriend's house as long as he had some time, so they were very cordial when they met. Later, He Qing came back from the south by high-speed rail with a suitcase. When she saw Lin Zhengren and Wenwen Lily coming to pick her up, she ran to someone happily. Lin Zhengren, I miss you so much, she said softly to the remaining two people, and Wenwen Lily, I miss you too. Han Wenwen took Lin Zhengren's arm and waved, and Zhang Zuli smiled and put her hands behind her back. Lin Zhengren touched her head, and she was taken by Lin Zhengren. Let's go, He Qing, Wenwen Lily, let's go to the university to report. Okay, the three said in unison. They took a cart to say goodbye to their parents and went to the university. After watching their son leave, they watched the figures of them walking away. Although it is not far away because Peking University and Tsinghua University are very close to home, Lin Xiaoli suddenly remembered something and asked her husband, "Husband, I forgot about Ranran's college entrance examination results recently. Didn't we discuss with Ranran what he thinks of these little girls?" Lin Yingjin was also stunned. "Indeed, but didn't you say that Ranran is now with that Xiao Jingxi?" "Well, but I don't feel that Ranran has any signs of being estranged from Xiao Qingqing, Wenwen and Lily. I always feel that it is the same as before." She looked at the few people who had disappeared on the road. "What do you think Ranran is thinking?" It's hard to say. I only know that my son has the potential to be an emperor. Anyway, he will be back in 2 weeks. I will ask my son then." "Well, that's the only way. It's not easy to talk about this kind of thing on the phone." Chapter 310 Lily's Doubts. A few days ago, the Imperial City Empress invited you to a banquet in the Imperial City and introduced you to the Empress's parents, but the eldest princess and her personal assassin were also there. The eldest princess coveted you because of what happened before, and was very unhappy when she heard that her sister seemed to be in love with you. She declared war on her sister in public during the banquet and gave her her first kiss without hesitation, trying to undermine the Empress's ideas, which shocked everyone present. But how could the Imperial City Empress, the ruler of a country, be defeated by her sister who had not yet completely ruled the ancestral foundation? So she kissed you in public at the banquet, and the scene between the sisters was tragic, and everyone was also greatly shocked. However, you have received 2 spiritual kisses from the Imperial City bloodline, and your spiritual energy has increased significantly. Lin Zhengren. A few days later, because the Lin family was short of money, Mrs. Lin heard that the Imperial City had been very lively recently, the national strength was strong, and the people lived and worked in peace and contentment, so she went to the Imperial City alone to look for you. The Empress, who was in love with you, learned that the person who came to the Imperial City was your mother, and she was very terrified and hurried to receive her in person. Mrs. Lin also learned from the other party that you had saved the Imperial City and defeated the demon army before. She also knew that the current Empress seemed to be yours. This huge Imperial City secretly respected you. She was very surprised and told her husband back to the family, and her husband was also amazed. Although the family has no treasures to give you after the above events, your father and mother are the place where your bloodline originates. The 2 of them were amazed and their spiritual energy increased greatly. The family fire was strong because of you, and you naturally also received a lot of spiritual power from it. After 2 events, you have gained a total of 2 spiritual energy levels and 1 physical strength. The internal basic values after each item is full are further improved. Your current spiritual energy level is level 75. The physical strength value is full. Lin Zhengren listened to the system chattering for a while in the car. After more than 10 years, all 4 values have finally been maxed out. But if you want to evolve your physical strength into a new attribute, according to past experience, you have to break through to level 80. But it's fast. Since I signed a contract with Jingxi, I always feel that the progress of cultivation has accelerated a lot. You know, it will be more and more difficult to level up later. But after being with Jingxi, I have even leveled up several times in just a few days. It shows that there are indeed a lot of things to do in the company. He Qing, is it my illusion? Why do I feel that your skin has become better after not seeing you for a while? In the back seat of the car on the way to school, the 3 little ones sat side by side, and Lin Zhengren sat in the co-pilot and listened to the movements of the 3. Zhang Zuli held a small mirror in her hand and wondered about the changes. Little He Qing said foolishly, "Your skin has gotten better." Zhang Zuli nodded, yes. She reached out to touch little He Qing's smooth face, and pressed it a few times with her fingers to make it so moist. "Look, it's as soft as jelly, sparkling." Sparkling, although your skin was good before, it's definitely different from now. It was good before, but it definitely didn't have the texture it has now. Little He Qing was embarrassed by what she said, and looked at Zhang Zuli. "Really? Lily, your skin has gotten better than before. I remember Lily had a small pimple on her forehead before, but it's gone now." Zhang Zuli was speechless. "He Qing, how long has it been?" "The pimple disappeared a long time ago." She was panicked but sincere. "Is that so? But I see that your skin is indeed better." Zhang Zuli took a mirror to look at her face and skin, a little puzzled. "Well, actually I've felt this vaguely recently. Since the last time I went to Linchin for a trip, my skin has become smoother and smoother." I haven't had any pimples or anything during this period, and I'm in good spirits." After saying that, Zhang Zuli also looked at Han Wenwen, observing the changes of this fox. The little fox covered his face and smiled. "Me too," Zhang Zuli nodded. "It's true, Han Wenwen's skin has also improved, but why do I feel that Han Wenwen, you are not surprised at all? Do you know that your skin will get better?" Han Wenwen grinned and faked. She was still guessing before. But since she pestered Brother Zhengren in the car in Linshan and enjoyed that afternoon in various ways, after observing it again during this period of time, the texture of the skin is obviously getting better and better day by day, and more moisturized day by day. So Han Wenwen is really sure that Brother Zhengren is indeed a great tonic for girls. Being intimate with Brother Zhengren will not only make your skin better, but also make you eat and sleep better. Want Han Wenwen? No, I was surprised too, Zhang Zuli complained with disdain in her eyes. Really? Why do I remember that the last time your skin got better, you were so surprised? Not this expression at all. The little fox blinked his fox eyes and answered innocently, "That's because we have been back from Linshan for many days, and I was already shocked at home." Little He Qing's voice was cute. "Do you think it's because of the hot springs? When I saw the tourism promotional pictures before, it mentioned that hot springs can beautify the skin and excrete toxins from the body." Zhang Zuli posed as Conan, with one hand across her chest and the other hand supporting her chin. "There is some truth to it, but not much, because if the effect is so good just by soaking in a hot spring, do you think the ticket would be bought for a few hundred yuan?" Little He Qing was speechless. "I feel that Lily's words are smearing something so dark." "What's dark about this? I'm just stating the facts." Lily clenched her little fists and argued, "Do you think those capitalists will let the public easily get something with such great functions? Hot springs cost only a few dollars, but how much do cosmetics cost? The effect is much better than my mother's cosmetics that cost thousands of dollars," she wondered, "and recently many people praised my good skin, which made me alert. Because of this, I specially searched for other people's posts about taking hot spring baths on the internet these days. Everyone said that there was not much difference from before taking a hot spring bath. It can't be that only the three of us are special, right?" Little He Qing repeated, "The three of us." After that, the three little ones suddenly looked at Lin Zhengren, who was in the co-pilot seat. Lin Zhengren had sweat on his forehead. "Are you three sick again? Why are you looking at me?" Zhang Zuli approached Lin Zhengren's face. Her face was flushed, but she still looked left and right. "Zhengren seems to be no different from before. I can't tell the difference," Little He Qing replied. "That's because Lin Zhengren has had good skin since he was a child. When I was in junior high school, I was curious about why other people had acne, but Lin Zhengren never had one." "Lin Zhengren," Little He Qing joked, "could it be that the three of us have better skin because Lin Zhengren passed on his good skin genes to us?" Who knew that? At this time Zhang Zuli suddenly alerted, as if an electric current flashed in her mind. Genes. When she heard this, she inexplicably felt that the truth was before her, but she really couldn't figure it out. Suddenly, she looked meaningfully at Han Wenwen, who rarely participated in the topic today. "I suddenly realized that if it was really the hot spring that made her better, then why did Han Wenwen get better before? Or did she get better before us?" He Qing also looked at Han Wenwen. "Han Wenwen, your skin suddenly improved for the first time, and Lily and I were so surprised. We still don't know the reason. We hadn't gone to Linshan at that time." Han Wenwen blinked again. She thought that if she said too much, she would make mistakes. She always felt that if she said something, Lily and He Qing would guess that she had run away before. And because Zhengren's brother's first time was given to He Qing, so, how did she get such a good thing? I guess they can think of it. Yet, it's very mysterious. Zhang Zuli narrowed her eyes and stared at a fox. Han Wenwen kept smiling with the corners of her mouth hooked. Lin Zhengren looked at the scenery outside the window and saw that the car gradually stopped at an intersection. "Don't discuss these trivial things, we are here. Tsinghua University and Peking University. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 311 Enrollment. The three children heard this and leaned on the car window to exclaim. Rumor has it that Tsinghua and Peking University are the most impressive schools that combine the styles of Tsinghua and Peking University. The scene was indeed magnificent. There was not only a flower bed with the words Tsinghua and Peking University written on it at the school gate, but also a row of willow trees leading the way inside the school gate. The breeze blew, and countless willow branches swayed in the wind. It was simply a paradise in this bustling city. After the four got off the car, the three children took a deep breath of fresh air at the same time when they saw the scenery. Lily, who had twin ponytails, sighed. "Is this a university? It really looks bigger than a high school." Little He Qing hummed, "It is big." Han Wenwen also nodded, "It is not small." Lin's Hengren was speechless. "Forget it, the three of you, let's go and report." The three of them responded at the same time. Because there were many students reporting today, the school gate was particularly lively, and all kinds of pedestrians kept shuttling. But as usual, when He Qing, Han Wenwen, and Jiang Zuli, three girls whose looks completely crushed their peers, appeared in front of everyone at the same time, many boys around stopped to look at them. They all sighed. What beautiful three girls. As expected, there are many beautiful girls in the first university, and the quality is also high. The girl with fox eyes really touched my heart, so beautiful after so many years. The grown-up He Qing also knew that she was beautiful, and many people approached her, but every time she was stared at in such a big occasion, she was actually a little shy, and would subconsciously stay close to Lin's Hengren. Lily was the same, but she would only look ahead proudly and not say anything. Only Han Wenwen didn't care and ignored it. When the four were about to enter the campus, a familiar car stopped at the school gate just like a high school. Everyone's attention was attracted by this magnificent luxury car and the driver in a suit who got out of the car. They all looked over, including the four of them. Although there are many identities of young ladies in various entertainment works, but in real life, most people have never seen a rich lady who actually drives a car with a driver, and the driver is wearing a suit and white gloves. No one would not be curious. After the car door opened, Jiang Jin, wearing a three-quarter skirt and long sleeves, got out of the car gracefully. A pair of cold eyes looked around, and her black shawl long hair danced in the wind. Her every move was elegant, and her snow-white skin shone in the sun. Fang Meng, who was wearing jeans and short sleeves, followed her. After the two got off the car, everyone exclaimed and talked, "Is this a real lady? This is my first time seeing her, this is my first time too. And this girl is really beautiful. The quality of our freshmen this year is so high." After Jiang Jin got off the car, her cold eyes ignored the people who were paying attention to her, and her expression did not change at all. It was just an unintentional glimpse, and suddenly saw Lin Songren and the three little ones, and her pupils changed greatly. Her eyes trembled, and the impulse at the table a few days ago was imprinted in her mind. Her face flushed slightly with shame. Fang Meng also followed Jiang Jin's gaze and saw Lin Songren, surprised. She asked Jiang Jin, "Do you want to say hello, Qianqian? Lin Songren and his three childhood sweethearts are here." Jiang Jin was conflicted, but knew that ignoring him would not work, so she lowered her head and said coldly, "Let's say hello, and then we'll leave, okay?" So under the gaze of many people, Jiang Jin walked over expressionlessly. "Lin Songren, we meet again, good afternoon. And my former high school classmates," Fang Meng also said solemnly. "Hello, Lin Songren, hello to you all." The three children looked at each other and responded simply. "Long time no see." Lin Songren looked at Jiang Jin, then at Fang Meng. Puzzled, "If I remember correctly, isn't Stanford your university choice? Why are you here?" The two besties were speechless. Jiang Jin pretended to be calm. "At first it was Stanford, but later I felt that foreign countries were not suitable for me. So I changed my choice after the college entrance examination and decided to stay in China. There was no other reason." Fang Meng smiled. "It's like this. This school is the result of Qianqian's careful consideration, and wherever Qianqian goes, I will naturally go there," singing the same tune. Lin Songren couldn't help but let out a long sigh. He guessed a few days ago that these two guys must have changed their choices. "Then we will be classmates again in the future." After saying that, Jiang Jin looked at Lin Songren's clear eyes, and her face flushed again, avoiding his sight. "Yes, anyway, the greetings are over. Xianmeng and I should go to report, and see you again if we are lucky." She left quickly with Fang Meng. Disappeared in the crowd. The people who were originally watching the excitement also began to continue to be busy with their own things. Little He Qing said in a soft voice, "I suddenly feel that it is the same as when we entered high school." At that time, the four of us also stood at the door and watched Jiang Jin and Fang Meng enter the school. "It hasn't changed at all," Han Wenwen took little He Qing's arm. There is still some. At the beginning, Zhang Jin had no interest in brother Zhengren, and she was even too lazy to look at him. But just now the second young lady's eyes have changed. They are all drawn. She asked with a sarcastic smile, "Really, brother Zhengren?" Zhang Zuli clenched her fists angrily and watched Zhang Jin leave. "Why do I feel something is weird?" "Zhengren, how far has your relationship with Zhang Jin developed?" Lin Zhengren was puzzled. "What are you two talking about? What do you mean by how far the relationship has developed? We are just classmates." Even little He Qing raised a little doubt, but what Wenwen said makes sense. The way Zhang Jin looked at you just now was not right. Besides, she is very beautiful and you have been classmates for 3 years. Even if you are not interested in her, I always feel that she is interested in you. Wenwen and Lily nodded. Lin Zhengren had no choice but to give each of them a chestnut. The three of them covered their heads and howled. The innocent are innocent. At least I don't have that kind of intention towards her. Let's go to school. The three of them didn't continue to talk about this topic after being beaten, and followed behind. However, they all became wary of a certain second lady. After successfully reporting, Lin Zhengren helped the three of them take their luggage to the downstairs of the girls' dormitory. The three little ones finally lived in the same dormitory in college. Before high school, Lily was with other girls, but college is far away from home after all. So before Lin Zhengren enrolled, he specifically told the admissions office who his friend wanted to live in the same dormitory with. After hearing this, the admissions office said that such a small matter was simple. After watching the three little ones pull their luggage upstairs, Lin Zhengren also wanted to go back to the male protagonist's dormitory to take a look. Just as he was about to take a step, he suddenly felt something in the corner of his eye and turned his head to look. Looking at an empty corner in the distance, Lin Zhengren was surprised and thought, is it such a coincidence? He left the girls' dormitory, and after Lin Zhengren left, a girl with long silver hair hid in the corner. Her cheeks were flushed. She bit her lips and smiled like a sick girl. She covered her heart with both hands, feeling the nervous beating of her heart. Chapter 312 Beautiful Counselor. Since it was the first time to meet new classmates in college, all the students packed their luggage and some messy things. The instructor of Class 3 sent a message in the group to let all the students gather in the big classroom for the first meeting. The big classroom is close to the girls' dormitory. Lin Zhengren told the three guys not to wait for him and just go to the classroom first. After all, after entering the boys' dormitory, he found that his roommates were very enthusiastic and it took a long time to get over. Although Lin Zhengren knew that this enthusiasm might not last long. But at the beginning, the boys still chattered a little. For example, when seeing Lin Zhengren for the first time, a boy with a flat head and a simple face exclaimed, "My brother Xiao, you are so damn handsome." And it's not the kind of handsomeness of a young boy, but the kind of handsomeness that looks handsome. "Come and shake hands. My name is Zhang Zhenlong." "What's your name?" Lin Zhengren laughed. "Lin Zhengren, we look the same, and you are not bad either. Haha, brother, you are really good at talking. We will be friends from now on. You can call me Dallin from now on, and I will call you Dallin." Just a few polite words. After a simple communication, Lin Zhengren found that he and his brother named Zhang Zhenlong were in the same class. They were both classmates in the third class of economics. After making up the bed, Zhang Zhenlong and Lin Zhengren went to the classroom together. "Brother, do you know? I heard that there are several beautiful girls in our class, and our instructor is so beautiful. It seems that we are the luckiest among so many freshmen this time." Really, Lin Zhengren was not so interested in beautiful girls. After all, he had seen too many of them. But Zhang Zhenlong saw that Lin Zhengren didn't take it seriously and thought that the other party didn't believe him. "Dude, it's true. I'm not lying to you. I heard it before I came here. At least our instructor must be a super beautiful lady. I saw her from a distance when I came. Wow, her appearance is amazing, but she wears a ring on her hand. Maybe she's married." Lin Zhengren answered casually. "Married? A wife? Wow, you know a lot, buddy." He laughed. "I like your personality. But I personally don't like mature women. I prefer the youthful type, so no matter how beautiful a sister is, I won't be moved." Lin Zhengren looked ahead. He was not picky because he had 4 girlfriends at present. From Lily's little lolly with ponytails to Jingxi's older sister type, Lin Zhengren felt that his taste was not picky. Came to the big classroom. There were not many people inside. There were probably only about 10 people sitting inside, and it seemed that many people hadn't come yet. The three girls came later than him, and he didn't catch a glimpse of their figures. On the podium in front of the big classroom, a female teacher wearing high heels and a white three-quarter skirt stood there, and a large round sun hat with flowers was placed on the podium. The female teacher had a very good figure, with a curvy figure, fair skin and beautiful appearance. She wore a silver white art necklace on her neck, the style was somewhat familiar, and half-frame glasses were hung on the bridge of her nose. A thick long hair fell along her shoulders, and was tied with a rubber band at the back of her head, which made her look even more heavy and simple. A closer look revealed that there was a ring on the middle finger of her left hand. Judging from the position of the ring, she was not married. But she was indeed taken. Although it was just a simple glance, Lin Zhengren could tell from this outfit that this teacher had good taste in appearance. However, Zhang Xinlong saw the instructor in the classroom and greeted him. "Hello, teacher." The instructor on the podium turned his head and took a look, and said, "Hello, come in and sit down first." As soon as these words were finished, the beautiful peach blossom eyes of the female teacher shrank slightly. Lin Zhengren's eyes also widened inexplicably, and he was very shocked. It was not because of anything else, but because this beautiful counselor was the girlfriend of the deputy general manager of Jiangxi Company, Zhang Jingxi. At this moment, Zhang Jingxi looked at Lin Zhengren at the door, as if she had known that he would come, so she smiled after a slight shock. In order not to be seen by others, she blushed slightly on her face and quickly looked down at the materials in her hand. Zhang is here, but Lin Zhengren didn't understand. Why is Jingxi here? How did she become a counselor? Zhang Xinlong poked Lin Zhengren with his elbow and whispered, "Brother, I didn't lie to you. Isn't our counselor very beautiful?" Lin Zhengren grinned awkwardly. Indeed, this time it was the truth. He found a seat and sat down. Lin Zhengren looked at Zhang Jingxi in this outfit. Compared with the previous outfits, Zhang Jingxi's outfit today was more simple. Her hairstyle was also changed from usual, and she even wore glasses. At first glance, she even looked like a different person. But this is his girlfriend after all, and he can quickly confirm it with just a few more glances. Zhang Jingxi felt Lin Zhengren's gaze on the podium, and pursed her red lips slightly without saying anything, nor did she dare to look up at him and make eye contact with him. Although she did not tell him that she came to be a temporary counselor without permission this time. But, college is not high school. Without the intense study pressure, her sister looked full of fighting spirit some time ago. If she stayed in the company all day like she did in high school, it would be over. How could Zhang Jingxi, who has been doing business for many years, not understand the principle that those who are close to the water get the moon first? Do you really think that my sister is a vegetarian? There were a few girls in front of the classroom trying to get close to Zhang Jingxi. "Teacher, you are so beautiful. I even feel that you look a bit like the angel in the news some time ago." A girl nodded frantically. Yes, a little bit like that." Zhang Jingxi smiled and greeted the students. Really, I'm not lying to you. You are really beautiful. This is the first time I've seen such a beautiful teacher like you." "Teacher, do you have a boyfriend? I saw you wearing a ring." Zhang Jingxi smiled and said, "Yes, I'm engaged." "So happy." Zhang Jingxi smiled symbolically at the students. The beautiful female teacher didn't know if Zhang would think the same. She didn't know if her outfit would suit his taste. She secretly looked up at Lin Zhengren at the back of the classroom. After noticing Lin Zhengren's puzzled gaze, she quickly coughed lightly to avoid his gaze. Lin Zhengren sighed silently. Soon, the three little ones walked in from the classroom door together. The appearance of the three attracted the attention of everyone in the classroom. The boys in particular were all greatly surprised, feeling that the school belle of this year had already been decided. However, because of Zhang Jingxi's change of dress today. In addition, among the three little ones, only Zhang Zuli had seen Zhang Jingxi the most, and Han Wenwen had never seen her, so they didn't recognize who the instructor was at all. After the three of them entered the classroom, they greeted Zhang Jingxi and searched for someone. Zhang Xinlong, who was next to Lin Zhengren, was shocked when he saw the three of them and shouted, "Fuck. Dallin, look at these three girls at the door. Am I really not lying to you? These are definitely the three most beautiful girls in this year's freshman class. We are so lucky in the past few years, buddy." Before he finished speaking, he suddenly noticed the gazes of the three girls, and shyly nudged Lin Zhengren with his elbow. Fuck, they are looking at us. They are coming over here, fuck. Chapter 313 What kind of life? The three children only saw Lin Sihengren and walked over one after another. Zhang Xinlong's heart beat faster and his face turned red. His tone became stuttering. He stroked his hair with his hand and quickly adjusted his manners. Then he lowered his head and said, Da Lin, they are really here. They are really here. Lin Sihengren sighed that although this guy was good at talking, his reaction was really simple when he met a beautiful girl. Zhang Xinlong swallowed his saliva and sat there with his head down and his face flushed. But he had confirmed from the corner of his eye that the other party was sitting next to Lin Sihengren. All three of them sat down. After Xiao He Qing sat down, she took out a bag of snacks from her pocket and handed it to Lin Sihengren, saying, Here, eat. The three of us just went to the school supermarket to buy them. Lin Sihengren, you came so early. Zhang Zuli turned her head and looked at Lin Sihengren and whispered, The three of us were originally planning to wait for you, but when we saw the message you sent, we didn't expect that you were earlier than us. Han Wenwen smiled and said, This snack tastes good, Brother Sihengren. Lin Sihengren took the bag of snacks and replied, I didn't expect you three to be so slow. It took you so long to clean up. The simple dialogue suddenly made the nervous Zhang Xinlong confused. With a question mark on his face, he slowly raised his head to look at Lin Sihengren, poked Lin Sihengren's arm with his hand, and said timidly, Brother, what's going on? Lin Sihengren opened the snack and put it in his mouth. He looked at the nervous Zhang Xinlong in confusion. What's going on? There's nothing going on. No, I mean, do you know these three beauties? The three little ones only heard a boy talking to Lin Sihengren, and looked at him curiously. Zhang Xinlong was so embarrassed that he coughed and lowered his head again. So innocent. The three little ones looked at each other. Zhang Xinlong secretly asked Lin Sihengren again, Are these three girls your friends? After finishing his food, Lin Sihengren simply said, Not friends, to be precise, they are my three. He observed that all the boys and girls in the classroom were looking at him. After all, when He Qing, Han Wenwen, and Zhang Zuli sat next to him, everyone's attention was focused on them. The same was true for Zhang Jingxi. Lin Sihengren also knew that he couldn't directly say that they were girlfriends, so he said, They are all my childhood sweethearts, who grew up with me. The atmosphere suddenly became quiet. What? Zhang Xinlong suddenly raised his head and looked at Lin Sihengren numbly. What are you talking about? Brother, what is a childhood sweetheart? Are you saying that there are really girls in this world who grow up with boys? I don't believe it. Yes, brother, yes, and there are three of them, Lin Sihengren answered seriously. Han Wenwen smiled and whispered, In fact, we are not just childhood sweethearts. The three of us also like Brother Sihengren. We all want to be his girlfriend, right? Xiao Qing and Lily. Han Wenwen's words were shocking. Although she still did not reveal the relationship, she saved a lot of trouble in the future. Zhang Zuli and He Qing blushed but definitely did not deny it. They just nodded. However, the three little ones are not in trouble anymore. Someone else is in trouble. At this moment, everyone's eyes widened. Zhang Xinlong's pupils were full of red bloodshot when he heard this. Lin Sihengren laughed. Silence and endless silence. Then you can imagine what kind of evaluation Lin Sihengren will face. What kind of life have you lived? This curse was not uttered by Zhang Xinlong, but by the boys around him who couldn't stand it anymore. You are so mean. You have all three school beauties, right? What did I just hear? What do you mean they all like you? Bro, it's only the first day of school. You are going too far, aren't you? As the first complaint came out, the surrounding boys started to talk. The whole classroom was filled with sourness and vinegar. Of course, the girls were also talking about it, but their concern was obviously not about how many childhood sweethearts Lin Sihengren had, or whether the three girls liked him. Instead, they were discussing how handsome and charming this boy was. Although he was not a young and handsome guy like a star, he gave people an indescribable sense of handsomeness and affinity. The ancients once said a famous saying that the more popular something is, the more popular it is. It seems to be nonsense, but it is actually the truth. Lin Sihengren is used to such comments from everyone. Anyway, every time he starts to go to school, it always starts like this. When he turned around, Zhang Xinlong was no longer sitting next to him. He ran to another place and seemed to have found a new friend. From a distance, she said to Lin Sihengren with dim eyes, Sorry, buddy, I think we can't be friends anymore. There is an irreparable rift between us. Goodbye, my good buddy Dallin. I will always remember you. Lin Sihengren's forehead was sweating. Xiao He Qing apologized in her low voice. Lin Sihengren, It seems that you can't make male friends in college again. Han Wenwen understood human nature very well and smiled. Actually, I guessed it would be like this before school started, but I think Brother Zhengren is used to it. Zhang Zuli sighed, thinking that even if he was as strong as Zhengren, he would inevitably lose something when he gains something. Zhang Jingshi on the podium naturally heard what he said just now. She was surprised that this beautiful girl with a foxy face would dare to say such words in front of everyone. She also confirmed her thoughts. Sure enough, Zhang's 3 childhood sweethearts really liked him, and they liked him openly. Zhang Jingshi knocked on the table seriously. Okay, be quiet. Stop talking. When Zhang Jingshi's voice appeared, everyone in the classroom finally stopped talking. Zhang Zuli also looked up and looked forward. When she just entered the room, she didn't care much about what the teacher looked like. But the Enjing just now made her feel that the voice sounded a little familiar. And his teacher's face was even more familiar. Have I seen her somewhere? Zhang Zuli posed as Conan again, with one hand across her chest and one hand on her lips, thinking carefully. Lin Zhengren, who was standing by, caught a glimpse of Lily's appearance and thought to himself, this stupid girl hasn't recognized this as Jingshi? Zhang Jingshi took another look at Lin Zhengren and the 3 little ones. She felt a little jealous. At this time, 2 female classmates walked in from the door, one with long hair and a dignified posture. Naturally, they were Zhang Jin and Fang Meng. Fang Meng greeted them. Hello, teacher. Seeing another new beautiful girl walking into the classroom, the boys in the class seemed to have ignited the light of hope again. Because Zhang Jin and Fang Meng's looks were not worse than the 3 little ones, and even their cold temperament made the boys even happier. Zhang Jingshi turned her head and looked at the door of the classroom. Come in and sit down. After she finished speaking, Fang Meng and Zhang Jin were stunned. No matter what clothes sisters change into, or whether they wear glasses or not, they can always be recognized at a glance. Zhang Jingshi looked at her sister with a shocked face, and the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. After Zhang Jin reacted, she understood her sister's intention and gritted her teeth. Fang Meng could only marveled at the efforts made by the eldest lady to get Lin Zhengren, and even thought of such an unpopular idea as to become a counselor. Under the gaze of everyone, Zhang Jin snorted at her sister, shook her hair, turned around and walked towards Lin Zhengren. She greeted him, what a fate, to meet Lin Zhengren again. Then she sat in a row behind Lin Zhengren and the 3 little ones with Fang Meng. Facing the confused and disparate expressions of all the boys in the classroom again, Lin Zhengren sighed helplessly. All the boys in the class look like they want to kill me, so good. Chapter 314 Teacher, what do you want from me? The 3 little ones looked at Zhang Jin and Fang Meng, who were sitting in the back row in confusion. Holmes Zhang, Detective K. Lee covered her mouth with her hand and said in Han Wenwen's ear, hey Fox, this Zhang Jin definitely likes Zhengren, right? She doesn't even want to act anymore. She's in the same class with us, and she's sitting so close to us. Didn't you just hear that her previous major was not this, and she even changed it on purpose? Han Wenwen hummed softly, and said in a voice that only the 2 of them could hear, need I say that? Although classmate Zhang Jin looks aloof, she can't be aloof at all in front of Brother Zhengren. It's obvious that she's here for Brother Zhengren. Little He Qing also learned bad things and said secretly, after all, Zhang Jin and Lin Zhengren have been deskmates for 3 years, and they've experienced some things before, so there must be some feelings. Zhang Zuli was speechless, but did not deny, I'm really impressed. Zhengren is like a human-shaped succubus all day long, provoking everyone wherever he goes. Do you 2 think Zhengren will like Zhang Jin? Little He Qing said curtly, didn't Lin Zhengren say that he doesn't like her? He definitely wouldn't lie to us, it's just that Zhang Jin likes him. Han Wenwen stretched out a finger to remind, Zio King, although Brother Zhengren will not lie to us, but not liking someone now does not mean that he will not like him in the future. Besides, Zhang Jin likes Brother Zhengren, so the 2 of them may be together in the future. Zhang Zuli, after all, there are still 2 empty seats that we haven't subtracted. Little He Qing was surprised. What should we do? Do we have to add sisters again? Zhang Zuli smacked her lips. Stupid He Qing. What are you adding? 4 is not a small number. Zhengren said before that there are a maximum of 6, but it does not mean that there must be 2 more sisters. Of course, we have to try to reduce the number as much as possible. Lin Zhengren looked at the 3 of them from the side. What are you 3 talking about? The 3 of them were stunned, and they all sat down one by one, and answered in unison, it's okay, it's okay. The sun is really good today. Lin Zhengren, Jiang Jingshi looked at the podium and saw that almost everyone was here. Okay, the students should all be here, right? I know everyone is very excited about coming to college, but no matter how excited you are, please calm down. The teacher will call the roll first to see who is still missing. Jiang Zuli stood up. Here, no need to stand up, just shout and sit down. Oh, okay, next, Zhang Xin. After Lily sat down, she felt that this teacher looked familiar, but where had she seen her before? Where? She called out the names of all the students one after another. Although Jiang Jingshi was always gentle to someone, as Pan Lin said before, Jiang was actually very strict and spoke with authority, otherwise he would never be in his current position. Since we are all here, I will introduce myself here. I am your future counselor. My name is He Qing. If you have any problems in your life that you cannot solve, you can contact me directly. I also want to accompany you through the rest of your college life. Lin Zhengren thought about what to do with her name, because the name Jiang Jingshi is still very popular now, and it would be troublesome to say it out loud. He never thought that she directly used a pseudonym. He Qing, using half of the word Jing. Jiang Jingshi, today is the first time we all meet. Next, I will call everyone's name again. Everyone should give a brief self-introduction, just one sentence, to get to know each other, just like a normal college opening. The counselor is helping everyone to integrate into the new environment and the class as quickly as possible, and is also explaining some basic rules of this university. It seems that everything is no different from the usual opening of the school. Of course, any normality is just on the surface. 3 women are a drama, let alone 6. After a brief explanation, Jiang Jingshi glanced at the time. Everyone sit here for a while. In 10 minutes, it will be time for dinner. You can temporarily communicate in the classroom, and then go to the cafeteria together to check out the dishes. I believe that our school cafeteria will surprise everyone. It must be better than what the students ate in high school. After that, she took the information and said, "Students Lin Zhengren responded. Jiang Jingshi said seriously, "Come out with it, teacher. I have something to tell you." Oh, okay. The lively discussion in the class began to appear. Lin Zhengren followed Jiang Jingshi out. Only 2 people in the 3rd grade were puzzled as to why the teacher called Lin Zhengren. Jiang Zuli's brows were locked, and the frown was so tight that it could pinch a mosquito to death. She was still curious about where she had seen him before. Jiang Jin, who was sitting in the back, gritted her teeth and clenched her fists. "Sister, do you think that you can use your power as a teacher to tie Lin Zhengren to your side? Don't even think about it. This is a university, not a high school. A mere counselor doesn't have such a high level of management over students in a university. I can still do it." Ah! Jiang Zuli's sudden shout caused an uproar around them. Han Wenwen and He Qing were both startled. Little He Qing covered her heart and wondered, "What's wrong, Lily? What did you yell again?" Han Wenwen also stroked her hair. "You scared me." Jiang Zuli suddenly broke out in cold sweat on her forehead, and turned to look at the 2 sisters, He Qing, Han Wenwen. "I finally know who our counselor is. Don't you 2 think she looks familiar? That aura, that voice, that look. Although she wears glasses and changes her clothes and hairstyle, you can still tell who she is." He Qing and Han Wenwen both shook their heads. In unison, "Not at all. After all, one had only met a few times 3 years ago, and the other had never met." Jiang Zuli looked around, covered her mouth and whispered, "Our counselor is Jiang Jingshi, the deputy general manager of Zhangxi Company. Zhengren's girlfriend. Did you 2 see it?" In just a moment, not to mention He Qing, even Han Wenwen, who is always very vigilant about her surroundings, was stunned. She had never thought of such a thing. "Lily, what did you say?" Outside the classroom, Jiang Jingshi was walking in front in high heels, holding the document that had just introduced the campus rules on the podium. Her skirt brought up a fragrant breeze with her steps. Lin Zhengren followed silently behind her without saying a word. Until Jiang Jingshi looked back at Lin Zhengren, her face shy. She pushed her half-frame glasses with her ring finger, looked around carefully, and finally found a place to avoid the camera, hiding there with Lin Zhengren. At the corner of the corridor, Jiang Jingshi looked at Lin Zhengren. Lin Zhengren looked at Jiang Jingshi, blinked and said calmly, "Teacher, what's wrong? What do you want to see me about?" Jiang Jingshi looked cute and angry. She looked at Lin Zhengren with her peach blossom eyes, and said gently and coquettishly, "What, teacher? Don't say you didn't recognize me." Lin Zhengren pretended to have a question mark on his face. "Teacher, what do you mean?" Jiang Jingshi blushed and said, Zhang Zhang, stop teasing me. Lin Zhangren finally laughed. Well, Jingshi looks pretty good in this outfit today. This is the first time I see you wearing glasses. Chapter 315 Teacher Jiang. Jiang Jingshi elegantly adjusted her glasses with her ring finger. This pair of glasses has no prescription, it's just for looking good, she explained. Originally, I wanted to try the female suit teacher style, but I felt it was too formal for the first time meeting students, so I didn't wear it. I'll let you try it on in private later. If I let you wear it, you can match it with stockings, Lin Zhangren said meaningfully. Nodding, sure, Jiang Jingshi didn't expect Lin Zhangren to agree so readily. It turns out that Zhang Zhang likes this style. Lin Zhangren asked the main question, so why did Jingshi become a counselor? And my counselor, she answered gently. Actually, there are many reasons. First, it's because of my sister. She did that at a dinner party some time ago. Although I don't think she can make any waves and I know you don't like her, even so I don't want her to pester you all day long. Secondly, you are in college, and I will definitely see you less often. I miss you a lot at the company. So a few days ago I was thinking about whether there is any way to accompany you temporarily for a while. Jiang Jingshi smiled, so I had an idea and donated a little bit of my own money to this school. In addition, my father is actually one of the directors of this school. Since the family made money, my parents are still very happy to invest some money in education to contribute to society, so I came here to be a counselor, director. Lin Zhangren finally understood the reason. I see, she added, but I'm a temporary counselor and I won't be included in the official file, so I don't know how long I'll work for. It could be 1 or 2 months, or half a year. It depends on my mood. Anyway, when Kyankian is no longer interested in you, I'll go back to the company. She blushed and apologized. Isn't it a bit willful? Lin Zhangren thought that the daughters of wealthy families do things differently from ordinary people. It sounds a bit arbitrary. Lin Zhangren smiled. I can't say I'm willful. Since Jingshi is interested in being a teacher, you can try it out. But what about the company? Oh. Don't worry about that, because many things in the company have become stable recently, and I basically don't need to deal with small things. As for big things, Panlin will send them to you and me, and you can just deal with them after get off work or on weekends. In the final analysis, it's because I have a strong ability to handle work after you signed a contract with me before, which has resulted in a lot of extra personal time. Every time I talk about it, it feels magical. I don't know how you did it. Lin Zhangren nodded. I understand. So Jingshi will be my instructor for a long time in the future. Jiang Jingshi hummed, and suddenly coughed with her hand on her lips and became serious. Yes, Zhang Zhang will be my student in the future. When the time comes, you must say hello to the teacher. Call me Teacher Jiang. Don't cause trouble for the teacher. As a reward, I will also help Zhang Zhang get rid of some troubles. No problem, teacher, he answered neatly. Jiang Jingshi said in an unexpectedly gentle voice, I was just saying it casually, don't take it so seriously. The identity of counselor is only temporary. Girlfriend is always the first identity. I will always be a proper woman. Seeing that there was no one around, she took 2 steps forward, and Lin Zhangren understood and hugged Jiang Jingshi. He hugged her waist, and the fragrance floated into her nose. Jiang Jingshi's shy face was pressed against his arms. Although it's the same as usual, I always feel weird being hugged by a teacher. After all, there are cameras around here, and I'm a student now. The feeling of sneaking around is definitely different from being open and above board. Jiang Jingshi raised her head and smiled, gently kissing Lin Zhangren's lips. After touching the water, Jiang Jingshi raised the heel of her high heels, and the 2 people's lips slowly touched and kissed each other. After being intimate, she took out a card from her arms and handed it to Lin Zhangren. This is my current address. I live near the school. If you want to find me after school or on weekends, tell me. The teacher is waiting for you at home. Okay. He took the card, glanced at the address on it, memorized it, and returned it to Jiang Jingshi. I've written it down. Jiang Jingshi was relieved. Zhang Zhang's memory is still so good. She was about to kiss again, but suddenly there was a sound of high heels in the distance. Jiang Jingshi and Lin Zhangren were so scared that they quickly separated. A female teacher with a ponytail came over. She looked very young and seemed to be a counselor. They saw the 2 standing here talking. After they separated, Jiang Jingshi said seriously, that's it, classmate Lin Zhangren, have you written down everything the teacher told you? Lin Zhangren replied, I've written it down, teacher. Okay, go back to the classroom. How about trying our school's food at noon? Okay, teacher, I'll go back then, bye. Before leaving, Lin Zhengren nodded to the ponytail teacher and then returned to the classroom. Looking at Lin Zhengren's leaving figure, Zhang Jingshi's eyes were magical. When Zhang looked at her just now, she seemed to have something to say. It should be about the three girls, right? If no one came to disturb him, he would have told me what his relationship with the three girls was. The ponytail teacher came over. Teacher Zhang, that was the top student in our class, right? Lin Zhengren, Zhang Jingshi replied, yes, that's him. His temperament and conversation are different from other students. The ponytail teacher nodded and looked at Lin Zhengren from a distance. Really, he doesn't have the temperament of his peers, but I didn't expect him to come to our school with such good grades. Teacher Zhang, it's almost time for dinner. Let's go eat together. Okay, let's go together. The two teachers left the corridor together. But after Lin Zhengren returned to the classroom, before he sat down, he saw three little girls, He Qing, Han Wenwen, and Zhang Zuli, staring at him with unfriendly eyes. Lin Zhengren was numb. What's wrong with you three? Zhang Zuli crossed her arms over her chest as if she was catching someone cheating. What did the teacher talk to you about just now? Nothing. The little fox looked jealous and said in a sarcastic tone. Brother Zhengren. He sat down and sighed. Okay, but I roughly know what you three want to say. After all, Lily and He Qing have met Jingshi several times before. In the cafeteria at noon, the four of them got their food and sat at a table. Lin Zhengren briefly explained to the three people, her father is a school director, and there is nothing important in the company recently, so she came to experience the profession of a teacher. That's it. Zhang Zuli looked at Lin Zhengren with disdain. Experience teaching? This is just a byproduct. Obviously the main reason is to see her boyfriend. The person concerned hummed. Of course. Zhang Zuli puffed her cheeks. Still jealous? Huh? Little He Qing exclaimed. With money, you can really do anything. Even the counselor is so easy to become. Han Wenwen opened the disposable chopsticks for Lin Zhengren. Zio Qingqing. In fact, being a school director is not simple. This means that the Zhang group should have invested a lot of money in the school before. And the temporary counselor itself is not a formal position, so it is understandable. If I were so rich, I would also find ways to stick to Brother Zhengren every day. Handing the chopsticks to Lin Zhengren, the fox's eyes were also jealous. Lin Zhengren touched the little fox's head. Little He Qing blushed. In short, Teacher Zhang is our sister from now on? We are in the same bed with everyone. The two girls were suddenly speechless. Zhang Zuli blushed and looked at He Qing and said, He Qing, you are really shocking. Don't be so blunt next time, okay? It's very embarrassing. Chapter 316 Familiar Military Training. He Qing was also embarrassed and shrank her neck. Okay, but what I said is also the truth. Anyway, Lin Zhengren has already said that she is his girlfriend, so the relationship is confirmed. Han Wenwen remembered the way Zhang Jingshi was teaching in the classroom just now. Tall figure, almost perfect body, just a right front and back, and beautiful appearance. Moreover, mature women have a more special flavor than young girls. If they wear high heels, have frame glasses and black stockings, even if Brother Zhengren is knowledgeable, he will definitely be fascinated. High heels with stockings, when one is also good. Lin Zhengren took a bite of the food and saw a fox staring at him with strong jealousy. Wenwen, what's wrong? What's that look in your eyes? Han Wenwen raised her lips with a fake smile. It's okay, I just didn't pay much attention to it just now. Now that I think about it, Teacher Zhang is really beautiful. This is the first time I've seen her. Brother Zhengren's taste is good. Lin Zhengren gave the little fox a slap on the head, and the little fox whimpered in pain. However, Lin Zhengren also knew that the three little guys were not very familiar with Zhang Jingshi at the moment, so it was normal for them to be more jealous. It will be much better as they get familiar with each other in the future. Okay, let's eat while chatting, otherwise the food will get cold. I'll introduce Jingshi to you when I find a suitable opportunity later, the three responded. Try the food in the university cafeteria. The university cafeteria has many more varieties than the high school cafeteria, and it's not just one cafeteria, but several in total, and the dishes are completely different. After the meal, the three girls all felt that it tasted better than in high school, but it was a bit expensive. Little He Qing picked up a piece of food for her boyfriend. By the way, Lin Zhengren, I heard them say before that in college you can skip classes if you want. Is that true? Won't the teacher be angry if you don't go to class? Lin's Hengren took a sip of water. Not true. If you skip classes too much, he will definitely be angry. Zhang Zuli was also puzzled. Not true? But when I watched videos online before, there were many people who didn't go to class at all. It's just that sometimes they don't call the roll, so no one knows if you don't go to class. But it's true that college relies more on self-supervision. The biggest difference from high school is that if you really don't want to study and play with your phone in the classroom, the teacher will pretend not to see it. Of course, it depends on the teacher, and some teachers will remind you. Little He Qing blinked blankly. I said, but Lin's Hengren, you really know everything. Are these things also in the books? Everything is in the book? The three girls were stunned, and then they said oh in unison. Han Wenwen picked up the chopsticks. Although the book has everything, I still don't like reading very much. Brothers Hengren can just read the book, and Wenwen will be responsible for giving Brothers Hengren a relaxing massage when he is tired of reading. Zhang Zuli ate the dishes. Since the college entrance examination, I feel that my thirst for knowledge has become less and less. It turns out that humans will not always love anything, except for their boyfriends. Lin's Hengren was helpless. Why do you act like you used to like reading books very much? Little He Qing smiled and scratched his face with his hand. Actually, I am the same. I always feel that my interest in learning is getting lower and lower than before. As for you, Lin's Hengren chewed the rice. You were purely led astray by Wenwen and Lily. Zhang Zuli and Han Wenwen looked guilty. It is true that He Qing used to have the best grades among the three of them. She was in the top 10 of the class in junior high school. But after spending a long time together, let alone the top 10, sometimes the top 20 are not necessarily stable. Those who keep bad company will be corrupted. Lin's Hengren sighed, but compared to others, you three have done well in your studies. You should know that Tsinghua University and Peking University are among the best universities in China, and many people can't even dream of them. The three felt even more guilty, especially Han Wenwen. She was a complete desert of human knowledge. If it weren't for Brothers Hengren teaching her to study hard in high school, she would have gone to Tsinghua University and Peking University. It would have been difficult to get into college. Thinking of this, the little fox picked up a few more dishes for Lin's Hengren with a charming look in her eyes. Thank you, Brothers Hengren, for saving Wenwen's life. Wenwen has no way to repay you, so she can only give you her body. I hope you can give birth to more little foxes in the future. Little He Qing and Zhang Zuli blushed when they heard this. Zhang Zuli praised Han Wenwen. You and He Qing are really good friends. You are two extremes at the same time. In the distance of the restaurant, Feng Meng and Zhang Jin were also eating. The surrounding noises were very chaotic, so the two couldn't hear what Lin's Hengren and the other three were saying. However, the appearance of them talking and laughing still moved Zhang Jin's cold expression. Feng Meng looked at everyone and said, the relationship between those three girls and Lin's Hengren is still as good as ever. Zhang Jin turned to look at the vegetables in front of her, picked them up with chopsticks and put them in her mouth. They were childhood sweethearts. Why did Lin's Hengren get together with her sister, and those three girls could still eat with Lin's Hengren so happily? Did Lin's Hengren not tell them? It should be impossible. Even if he didn't tell them, these three girls were with him every day. Even if Lin's Hengren occasionally replied to his sister's message and occasionally dated his sister, they would not be unaware of it. So what is the situation with these three girls? The first few days after the university started were uneventful. Lin's Hengren spent most of his time accompanying the three little ones to familiarize themselves with the campus and experience the food in various shopping malls and supermarkets around the school. Tsinghua University and Peking University are so huge that a few people have been dazzled by the shopping these days. It was very happy, and the military training for freshmen also came unknowingly. Military training is actually similar no matter where you are. A group of people standing in military posture and basking in the sun can be regarded as a platform for the school to provide everyone with opportunities to make friends. Of course, that was for others. For Lin's Hengren, making friends was almost non-existent. The instructor blew the whistle in front of the team. Okay, rest here for 20 minutes. Go to the bathroom if you want to, drink water if you want. Lin's Hengren sat where he was. Because the military training was for all freshmen. As a result, besides people from his class, there were people from other classes around him. A group of boys from the second class next door were chatting in low voices after the break. I saw a boy from the third class sitting there alone, staring at the front in a daze. All the boys around him stayed far away from him. After seeing this, a few people looked at each other and walked over, taking the initiative to join in the fun. Hey, classmate, Why are you sitting here alone? Lin Zhengren looked up at the enthusiastic people. Did the instructor say to take a break? I'll just sit and take a break. Several people sat next to him. One boy looked ahead and said solemnly, I just saw you brought some books with you during the military training. I guess college life must be very strange, right? After all, people are easily confused in a new environment. People who talk a lot are easy to make friends, while people like us who don't like to talk may not have many friends. Lin Zhengren was stunned, wondering what he was talking about. Another boy said enthusiastically, let's make friends. We are all freshmen. If we have difficulties in college in the future, we can help each other. Although Lin Zhengren didn't understand what these people were doing. But, it's really warm. Did you come to make friends with me because no one talked to you? But the reason why no one talked to me was. The boy smiled and asked, you probably don't have a girlfriend either? We are all single, so, Lin Zhengren, I'll buy you a cup of milk tea. With the sudden appearance of Xiao He Qing, the friendly buddies suddenly fell silent. Chapter 317 Send Drinks. They all looked at He Qing, staring at this pretty, youthful, and cute girl in a daze. A good buddy asked numbly, classmate, who is this girl? She should be your sister, right? Lin Zhengren replied with a smile, you can see that I don't look like her, of course I'm not her sister. Before he finished speaking, Zhang Zuli, who had blonde hair tied in twin ponytails, walked over with one hand behind her back, and her twin ponytails bounced with her steps. Where's Han Wenwen, He Qing? Where did she go just now? He Qing said, holding a milk tea. She said she went to the bathroom and will be here soon. Okay. Zhang Zuli also walked in front of Lin Zhengren, stretched out her arm and handed him the lemonade in her hand, her cheeks slightly red. Hey Zhengren. Since He Qing bought you milk tea, I won't buy you milk tea. I'll buy you a cup of lemonade to quench your thirst. The boys around Lin Zhengren were stunned again, looking at the petite, lively and cute Zhang Zuli. They were even more puzzled, and looked at Lin Zhengren, classmate, who is this person? Lin Zhengren grinned again. Too lazy to talk. Han Wenwen came over from the side again. The little fox was sipping a cup of fruit tea, but she didn't have a second cup in her hand. She walked slowly to the front of everyone. Zhang Zuli was puzzled. Han Wenwen? Where is the drink you bought for Zhengren? Did you forget to take it at the milk tea shop? Han Wenwen took another sip, shook her hand and drank 1/5 of the drink. No, isn't it here? She tilted her head and smiled, covering her face with one hand. It's mainly for both of you to buy. If I buy too much, I guess Brother Zhengren won't be able to finish it. It's better to do something different. She took another sip. When her lips separated from the drink straw, a strand of saliva broke like spider silk under the crystal sunlight. Han Wenwen looked at Lin Zhengren charmingly and said, drinks taste best when they are first drunk, right, Brother Zhengren? So let's drink this together. I even put on some lipstick before drinking. Zhang Zuli, Xiao He Qing blushed and her heart beat fast. I feel that Wenwen is getting bolder and bolder. There are so many people around, this time, not only the enthusiastic boys around Lin Zhengren, but also the other boys in class 3 who were far away were looking at Lin Zhengren with gritted teeth. The whole class, no, the whole freshman, there are only a few beautiful girls. You guys eat so much good food, won't you have diarrhea at night? Han Wenwen saw several boys around Lin Zhengren and whispered to Zhang Zuli. Another boy came to chat with Brother Zhengren. Zhang Zuli was speechless, covering her mouth and whispered, what the hell is chatting? It's just making friends between boys. After all, Zhengren looks quite kind and has a good temperament. If it weren't for the three of us, Zhengren would probably have a lot of male friends, Xiao He Qing said guiltily. So it's the three of us who harmed Lin Zhengren. Zhang Zuli looked at him with contempt. It's not wrong to say that he harmed him, but I think he deserved it a little bit. Who made him have so many girlfriends? After seeing the extremely beautiful and charming Han Wenwen, and having to give Lin Zhengren half of his drink, the boys around Lin Zhengren were biting their teeth in their mouths, and their eyes were full of jealousy and hatred. However, one of them was calmer than the others. There was a tendency for veins to pop on his forehead, but he still suppressed his emotions. He clenched his fist and laughed. Classmate, I think I know why no one comes to talk to you. You are really popular with women, but it is also obvious that you don't have a boyfriend, right? Lin Zhengren exclaimed, and the three little ones all looked over. Boyfriend, I mean male friends. Ah, that's true. Lin Zhengren did not deny it. The boy smiled with a fake smile and curled his lips. You see, so it's okay. Although I don't know what your relationship with these three beautiful girls is, it doesn't hinder our friendship. It was the first time that Lin Sehengren met someone who was still willing to make friends with him after meeting He Qing and the other three. But soon with the other party's next sentence, Lin Sehengren guessed something. The man said, although these three girls are very beautiful, I am not jealous at all, because among our freshmen, there is a girl who is the most beautiful to me. She is the pinnacle of our freshmen. So I will not be angry like others because you know these three girls. And you should know that the girl I like will not pay attention to any boys. She is a real campus beauty, so she looks sacred. Han Wenwen interrupted after listening. This classmate speaks very well. It can be seen that he is a good student. But do you like the kind of aloof type? The boy turned his head and looked at Han Wenwen in confusion, and suddenly he was a little scared. How do you know? Han Wenwen blinked her fox eyes and smiled. It's just a guess. I guess the girl you like the most beautiful is her, right? She pointed her slender fingers at Jiang Jin, who was walking towards her from a distance with long flowing black hair. And Feng Meng. The boy felt more and more that something was wrong. His heart was beating desperately. No, he had an inexplicable premonition of something, unwilling to accept reality, unwilling to believe that his goddess would do such a thing. No, this is impossible. How could such a thing happen? This is absolutely impossible. I don't believe it. But as Jiang Jin and Feng Meng stopped in front of Lin Sehengren, the man cracked like a stone statue, and the debris fell all over the floor. The second lady's face flushed slightly, and she handed over a cup of electrolyte drink, and said coldly, after military training, it is better to drink this kind of water to replenish water quickly. Here you go. Feng Meng also put a bottle of water in front of Lin Sehengren, and looked into Lin Sehengren's eyes. His eyes seemed to be telling, Lin Sehengren, do you remember what I said to you at the end of the high school graduation ceremony? It is my regret that I didn't send you water during the high school military training, but if there is another opportunity like military training, I will definitely be one of the girls who sent water. So I came. So in the shock of all the boys, girls, coaches and teachers around. On the military training ground, the 5 most beautiful girls in the freshman year stood there in a row. Each of them brought a different bottle of water to Lin Sehengren. The boys who were originally enthusiastic about Lin Sehengren, and the boys who had been patient enough just now, also became indistinguishable from the crowd. One by one, they stood up slowly with dark faces like bullet time, and moved away from Lin Sehengren like everyone else. They stayed far away from him. They wanted to isolate him. They wanted to severely isolate this boy who had snatched away all the beautiful freshmen. They wanted to prevent him from making any male friends. They wanted to make his life full of emptiness here. Lin Sehengren looked up at the 5 of them. Han Wenwen looked at Jiang Jin and Feng Meng and asked in a puzzled voice, although it is true that we are old classmates from high school, but, classmate Jiang and classmate Feng, you two are a bit too direct, aren't you? Bringing water to brother Sehengren in front of us. Jiang Zuli also reacted, walked in front of the two vigilantly and said, yes. Why did you two want to bring water to Sehengren? Jiang Jin and Feng Meng were speechless. Feng Meng took out 3 more bottles of water. We bought some for you 3 as well. Little He Qing saw it, and whispered, buying it for the 3 of us is just a coincidence, it's mainly for Lin Sehengren, right? Feng Meng, Jiang Jin expressionless, no, the 4 of you are all our old classmates, and we treat you equally. Jiang Zuli blushed and retorted, who would believe it? We can tell who you are coming for at a glance, okay? In the distance, Jiang Jingshi and a few people walked over from a distance, and those people were carrying several boxes of drinks in their hands. Jiang Jingshi said, Class 3 students, each of you come and get a bottle of water, the teacher will treat you. Class 3 students thanked the instructor and stood up to get drinks. While everyone was getting drinks, Jiang Jingshi took a special drink in her hand and walked to Lin Sehengren in the distance. But she found that Lin Sehengren was surrounded by a circle of girls. The 3 little ones and her sister were all there. Jiang Jingshi was surprised and went back to get 5 more cups, then came over and walked silently to someone. She put the drink in Lin Sehengren's hand first. Here, this is your drink, the teacher took it for you. Lin Sehengren's drink was different from others, with many small ingredients made by Jiang Jingshi herself. After giving it to them, Jiang Jingshi continued to pretend to be a teacher in front of so many people and said, and you guys, 1 cup each, the teacher has brought it to you. The 5 girls stared at Jiang Jingshi, each with a meaningful look in their eyes, and remained silent. In a sense, the way the 2 sisters gave drinks was the same. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, It means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 318 Lemon. The military training is about to end. During the break that night, Lin's Hengren returned to the dormitory separately from the three little ones as usual. In the future, he will definitely live outside with the three little guys, so he doesn't know how many days he can stay in the boys' dormitory. Recently, he can start to prepare to find a house. Wenwen's participation in the live broadcast competition and Lily's participation in the music competition are also in the second half of this year. Lin's Hengren pushed open the door of the dormitory. Just when he thought that his comrades in the dormitory would ignore him, after all, Lin's Hengren had become the public enemy of men during the military training. But he suddenly found that the spacious dormitory that was originally for 4 people was now crowded with people. At a glance, at least 20 or 30 people were crowded in the dormitory and talking about something. Why haven't you come yet? I don't know, it should be soon, it should be here soon. When everyone saw Lin's Hengren pushing the door and entering, Lin's Hengren blinked his eyes in confusion. So many people, those people were shocked. Then suddenly everyone lined up neatly in the dormitory and bowed together. Godfather, please teach us how to chase a beautiful girlfriend and how to make the girl we like us. Please, Godfather. In the next few years, we will buy you food and fetch you water. You don't need to do anything. I just hope you can teach us, Godfather. Everyone bowed and saluted. Godfather. The voice was uniform and loud, healthy and powerful, and magnificent. After Lin's Hengren reacted, he exclaimed that only a top student would know that the most abstract things in the world are often top students. University is indeed different from high school. In high school, he was busy with studies. Those people said they would ignore Lin's Hengren and they really ignored him because they had no time, but in college, things will turn into the opposite when they reach the extreme. So a few minutes later, Lin's Hengren sat on the bed. 2 boys on the left and right were patting Lin's Hengren's back with a smile. Is it comfortable, Godfather? How strong is it? Someone brought Lin's Hengren water for washing feet. Godfather, try the water temperature. I'll find some rose petals for you to sprinkle on it later. There was also someone holding a pile of instant noodles, grinning. Godfather, what flavor do you want for supper? I recommend fresh shrimp and fish noodles. It's my favorite flavor. Lin's Hengren had sweat on his forehead, and the person next to him immediately wiped the sweat off with a towel, and shouted nervously, turn on the air conditioner for Godfather quickly. Godfather is sweating. A group of people were fighting for the remote control. I'll do it, I'll do it. I'll do it. Someone even climbed onto the air conditioner to adjust it manually. Don't fight with me. I'll adjust the temperature. I'll do it. Lin's Hengren was silent. Let me say, what on earth do you guys want to do? What do you want to ask me? Everyone was shocked and then came over, each of them very pious, as if they were meeting a living priest. Godfather, we just want to know how you managed to track all the campus beauties in our freshman year. Most of us have had no advantages over the years except for being good at studying, and we have never even had a girlfriend since we were young. A man even cried, wiping his tears. Forget about a girlfriend. When I was 15, I accidentally touched the black hair of a girl in the front row. I didn't wash my hands for a week after that. The hair was so soft and had a slight smell of shampoo. I still remember it vividly. I often dream about it. Many people shed tears when they talked about this, me too. When I was in high school, a girl accidentally bumped into my arms while playing. I felt frivolous that month. I felt like I was floating every day, and my study speed doubled. Me too, me too. From childhood to adulthood, no girl has ever liked me. They all say that I am a nerd who only knows how to read books all day long. In fact, I am not. I was just shy and didn't dare to talk to them, so I could only pretend to be a nerd to make myself seem less dull, and then I unknowingly got to hear, woo woo woo. There was even a serious nerd wearing glasses who took out a treasured amulet from his bosom and said, it contains the sugarcane residue chewed by a girl I once liked. I have kept it in there all these years as my amulet. I always pass the exams when I wear it. Although she has a girlfriend now, I know that I like not a certain person, and my invisible youth is the beautiful first love of my imagination. I also want a real girl to be my girlfriend. Everyone was telling each other sad experiences. Someone said to Lin's Hengren, so Godfather, during the military training these few days, everyone saw that you are so popular with girls. There are girls sticking to you every day, giving you water and snacks, and even jealous of you. What kind of enviable life is this? Someone covered his chest and said, when we saw this, we were actually shocked in our hearts. We have never even thought about these things. If there are girls in real life who can do such things for us, and if there are girls who can give us water with lipstick, then I am willing to eat braised beef noodles for a month. From now on, I am willing to never let me eat my favorite shrimp and fish noodles again. Godfather, we are all begging you, please teach us a few tricks, even if it is just 1 or 2 tricks. From now on, we will unconditionally support you in everything you do in this school. You are our kami, our God. Everyone raised their hands, looked at Lin Sahengren and repeated, Lin Sahengren, our God. May you protect us. Lin Sahengren sighed. Why does it feel like a cult ritual? No one paid attention to me during the military training these days. Everyone was silent. He immediately defended himself. That's because everyone really envied you so much at that time, so jealousy clouded our minds, but after calming down these few days, we know that only by following your footsteps can we get light. There is a saying that goes, choose the good and follow it, and change the bad. We deeply understand that facing the most outstanding Godfather and the God who is both the king of academic masters and a master of love, what we should do is to get close to you instead of being indifferent to you. For this, we feel guilty these days, we repent. We feel guilty. Lin Sahengren raised his hand. Okay. I already understand what you mean. Wait, I'll soak my feet first. Let me think about how to tell you. A boy touched the water temperature in advance with his hand and shouted in horror, the water is 2 degrees colder, quickly add hot water, and make sure to let the Godfather's sacred feet enjoy the most suitable water temperature. Lin Sahengren laughed, so tonight Lin Sahengren thought briefly. Since these people were so sincere, Lin Sahengren taught them a little bit of methods. In fact, when it comes to love, nothing is important. The most important thing is courage. As long as you have courage, everyone can talk about love. But even though Lin Sahengren didn't say much, those people still took notes carefully, and were shocked. Before going to bed, they bowed to Lin Sahengren one by one, in unison. Supreme Lord, may you have a good dream tonight, Lim and Lin Sahengren. A group of abstract monsters. Chapter 319 Obstacles. The day when the military training ended was also the time for the freshman welcome party. As student representatives, Lin Sahengren and Jiang Jin still stood on the podium as speakers even though they had changed to a new school. It was just at this time, Lin Sahengren did not participate in the performance, and only Jiang Jin signed up for a piano solo. Standing on the podium, Lin Sahengren said those inspirational words that sounded excited but were actually very official. He Qing, Han Wenwen, and Jiang Zuli sat in the audience and listened, each with a red face and a smile. For girls, there is nothing more great in the world than having their boyfriends stand on the podium in the spotlight. Lin Sahengren, that's what I want to say, thank you everyone. After he finished speaking, the whole audience burst into warm applause, both boys and girls, especially the boys. Clap, clap. There were even many boys who cheered, Lin Sahengren, Lin Sahengren. The scene was very exciting. The teachers and directors around felt that the freshman representatives of this year were very popular. Sure enough, the perfect academic bully had a huge appeal, not bad. The 3 little ones looked at everyone in confusion. Little He Qing didn't understand, what's going on? Isn't Lin Sahengren unpopular among boys? Why are these people so enthusiastic? Jiang Zuli shook her head and applauded, I don't understand it at all. It doesn't make sense. When Sahengren gave a speech in high school, the boys who applauded were not so enthusiastic. Han Wenwen thought about it and smiled playfully. She could figure out the mystery, but she had to admire that these boys were really like children. Lin Sahengren listened to the enthusiastic applause of the boys on the stage. He recalled that since many people came to the dormitory to find him in the past few days, someone actually found a girlfriend through the few words he said. For this reason, more and more people came to the dormitory in the past 2 days. Just like the virus, believers spread rapidly. It is said that before this group of people confess, they will even put their hands together and pray silently. Supreme Godfather, I wish my confession today goes well. And after the speech, because Lin Sahengren and Jiang Jin still had to be the hosts, they could not return to the audience to sit. Instead, they retreated behind the scenes. Jiang Jin, who is wearing a formal dress today, stood beside Lin Sahengren, watching the performances of the freshmen one by one. Her long hair fell quietly behind her shoulders. Her cold expression was clearly looking at the stage. but her eyes unconsciously glanced at Lin Sehengren beside her. She hesitated and said, Lin Sehengren. Lin Sehengren turned his head in confusion. Huh? What's wrong? Zhang Jin pursed her lips. I want to say that today's program is actually. As soon as she opened her mouth, Zhang Jingxi, who was wearing glasses at the back of the stage, came over and shouted, Student Zhang Jin, please come over, the teacher has something important to talk to you about. Hearing her sister's words, Zhang Jin said goodbye to Lin Sehengren temporarily, and walked over slowly in confusion. What's wrong, sister? Zhang Jingxi's beautiful peach blossom eyes blinked. Student Zhang Jin, why are you calling me teacher? At school, our relationship is teacher and student, and we don't have any other identities. Zhang Jin was indifferent. What's wrong? Teacher, Zhang Jingxi smiled, but didn't speak. There was silence for about 5 minutes. Zhang Jin was puzzled. Why don't you say something? Zhang Jingxi finally spoke. Nothing, I just don't want you to be alone with your brother-in-law, so I called you over. Otherwise, if you were standing there alone, I think you would definitely say something to him. Zhang Jin suddenly blushed and gritted her teeth. Her eyes were full of murderous intent towards her sister. Obviously, what she was going to say to Lin Sehengren just now was what she had been brewing for several days. Zhang Jingxi was not afraid at all, grinning. Classmate Zhang Jin is really a vicious person, but it's useless to be vicious. I am the teacher and I have the final say. Just like that, after Zhang Jin was called away, she waited until the performance and had no chance to find Lin Sehengren alone to talk. Only when it was her turn, Zhang Jin walked to the stage with an elegant step. Sitting in front of the piano, the slender jade hand was raised, and then slowly fell on the keys. The piano piece that Zhang Jin played today was a unique piece in this world, called Apologetic Love. There is an apology to the object of your affection and still expresses that I will continue to like you, and I must get your meaning. It is a very special piece. Lin Sehengren stood alone in the backstage, listening to the beautiful piano music. He roughly understood what Zhang Jin was going to say to him. After the piano music ended, Zhang Jin stood up and half bowed. Absolute expertise means absolute applause from the audience. When Zhang Jin stood up, she subconsciously looked back in the direction of the backstage. She felt that Lin Sehengren should understand the meaning of this piano music. But, even if he heard it, some things still need to be said in person. In the audience, the cute eyes of little He Qing were shining under the light. I have to say, classmate Zhang Jin is really beautiful on the stage. Zhang Zuli actually thought that Zhang Jin's temperament was unique, but she still said arrogantly, He Qing, how can you praise your rival for beauty? Little He Qing added firmly, I am making an objective evaluation. Lily, don't worry. I will definitely not be a traitor, because I am also Lin Sehengren's girlfriend, and I don't want the sister team to grow any bigger. The little fox didn't understand music very well, but with this song and Zhang Jin's look back just now, she always felt that there was some story in it. A few days after the freshman party, Zhang Jin began to talk to Lin Sehengren alone, intentionally or unintentionally. The piano piece had ended, and the next step was the interview, but it was predictable. The free life in college made it difficult for Zhang Jin to get close to Lin Sehengren. Because her sister's obstruction was quite difficult, Zhang Jingxi often asked Zhang Jin to go to the office, or asked her to do some small things. Or she would ask her to chat alone and waste time. In short, she didn't let Zhang Jin contact Lin Sehengren. Zhang Jin was so angry that she said, Are you annoying? Why do you always ask me to come over? Zhang Jingxi sat in the office and said indifferently, I don't think it's annoying. My sister-in-law wants to talk about love with her brother-in-law. Is it wrong for me, as a sister, to hinder her? And if you hadn't been trying to stick to Zhang these days, I wouldn't bother you. Zhang Jin clenched her fist and retorted, What brother-in-law or not? You are obviously not married, just together. Zhang Jingxi folded her legs elegantly and drank hot tea. Yes, whatever you say, but in my heart, your brother-in-law is your brother-in-law. You'd better give up this idea as soon as possible. Do you really think that your sister can't understand the meaning of your piano piece? You want to pester him? There is no way. Zhang Jin's fists rubbed and made a crackling sound. And even if he escaped to his sister's sight sometimes, it would be useless, because Lin Sehengren was guarded by He Qing and 3 others. The last time they delivered water during military training, the 3 children were more vigilant against Zhang Jin. Now whenever Zhang Jin wants to talk to Lin Sehengren alone, the 3 will stop him in front of him in advance. Zhang Zuli, why are you looking for Sehengren again? Tell me something and I'll pass it on for you. Han Wenwen smiled, Brother Zhengren is very busy. Little He Qing nodded vigorously. He is very busy. Zhang Jin looked at Lin Zhengren, who was reading in the next classroom, through the three people. Although there were many obstacles, she just turned around and left, looking for another opportunity. Han Wenwen sighed. She is so persistent. She has been stopped several times, but she still comes. Zhang Zuli was also puzzled. Does she like Zhengren so much? She has no intention of giving up at all. Chapter 320: The Opportunity to Like Someone. When the three children outside the classroom were all focused on Zhang Jin, no one noticed that Fang Meng, who had a side ponytail and a coat tied around her waist, snipped in from the back door of the classroom. Lin Zhengren noticed something unusual while reading and turned around to see Fang Meng. The two looked at each other. Fang Meng stopped with a notebook in her hand. Classmate Lin Zhengren, are you interested in joining our Alone Club? Lin Zhengren was stunned. What is the Alone Club? Fang Meng said. It is a place specially provided for you and Kaianqian to be alone, and you can talk about anything in it. Lin Zhengren was speechless. Do you think I will join such a club? I refuse. Fang Meng was not surprised. After all, Kaianqian's plan didn't sound reliable. It was obviously difficult to lead the three girls away, but she just asked Lin Zhengren such a question. Okay, I will tell Kaianqian that the plan failed. Lin Zhengren sighed and continued to read. Actually, Zhang Jin came to me intentionally or unintentionally these days, and I understand what she means. She wants to explain to me what happened last time she was a guest at Jiang's house, right? But in fact, she has already apologized to me on WeChat. I also understand what she meant about the piano piece at the welcome party a few days ago, so there is no need to talk again. I won't interfere with her thoughts. Whether she likes me or not is her business, and I have no right to interfere. But at least for now, I really don't have that kind of thought about her. Fang Meng looked at Lin Zhengren's profile. Really? Can I ask why? Because from my perspective, Kaianqian is beautiful, has temperament, and is persistent. She will never despair in the face of anything. Even if she fails, she will start all over again. Especially in high school, under the influence of Lin Zhengren, she became much gentler. I don't really understand why you don't like her. Lin Zhengren glanced at the beautiful Fang Meng curiously. It's true that what you said are all advantages, but a person's excellence does not mean that other people will definitely like him. Liking this kind of thing depends on feelings. Fang Meng, I understand this. Every man has different fetishes for women. Some people like all kinds of personalities and some people like all kinds of female parts, but based on my previous observations of Lin Zhengren seems to have many fetishes for women. The three girls and the big lady outside the classroom are all completely different types. It can't be that you don't like the cold type. Lin Zhengren was speechless. That's not what I meant. I do have a wide range of hobbies in this area, but to put it simply, for example, I am quite good, right? Fang Meng nodded. Very good. After Lin Zhengren finished speaking, he always felt that this was a bit strange. It felt strange to praise himself. Lin Zhengren, but when you first met me, didn't you also dislike me? Do you understand what I mean? That's why I said it was a feeling. The other person's face suddenly turned red. Indeed, no matter how outstanding Lin Zhengren was when they first met in high school, she didn't have that kind of thought about him. But later, she bit her lower lip lightly with her red lips. I see, that is to say, Kaianqian does have a chance, but she and you still need an opportunity to poke Lin Zhengren's heart. As long as you can find the key point that Lin Zhengren cares about girls, Lin Zhengren will be moved. Unexpectedly, she was right. Lin Zhengren blinked and took a long breath. Let's change the topic. Anyway, let her not care about what happened that night. Don't keep it in mind. As for the club, I won't join any club. I told those three guys before that I have other things to do. Oh? I see. Lin Zhengren is not interested in the club. Fang Meng wrote it down in the notebook. Lin Zhengren's forehead was sweating again. I don't know what's worth remembering. Fang Meng, finally, I would like to ask you a question, which is what is the relationship between Lin Zhengren and those three girls? You already have a girlfriend, miss, who is beautiful and likes you, but why are you still with them all day? Can you please tell me? Don't worry, no matter what it is, I will never tell anyone. Before Lin Zhengren could speak, the three little ones came in from outside. When they found Fang Meng next to Lin Zhengren, they were startled and ran over quickly. Zhang Zuli stood between the two of them. Hey! That's enough, you two. You are trying to make a feint to the east and attack in the west, right? Fang Meng saw the three people coming back and quickly apologized. "Sorry to disturb you, I'll leave," Lin Zhengren shouted when he saw her leaving, and answered directly on the spot. "I can't tell you this question, because if I tell you, it will cause trouble for the three of them at school, so it's useless to ask." Fang Meng nodded. "Okay." She took another look at Lin Zhengren and turned to leave. After Fang Meng left, Xiao He Qing was puzzled. "What do you mean? What did Fang Meng ask you just now?" Lin Zhengren, Zhang Zuli didn't understand either. "Yeah, what do you mean by it will cause trouble for the three of us? What did she say to you?" Lin Zhengren greeted the three of them. The three of them bent down and leaned over. Lin Zhengren whispered, "Fang Meng knows that I am with Jingxi, so she asked me what is the relationship between me and you three." The three girls blushed. Zhang Zuli opened her mouth and said awkwardly, "This question really cannot be discussed. Just thinking about it, you know how much trouble it will cause if it is spread out." After she finished speaking, she secretly agreed with little He Qing and Han Wenwen. "The four of us must keep this matter confidential, especially He Qing and Han Wenwen. The three of us should just keep our personalities in colleges like Zhengren. This way there won't be any problems. Otherwise, having four girlfriends would be big news no matter where you are." Han Wenwen responded, and little He Qing nodded but said, "It's just that in this way, I always feel that Lin Zhengren looks like a scumbag in the eyes of outsiders. He knows that the three of us like him, but he is not sure who he is with, and he is ambiguous with all three of them." Zhang Zuli stood up straight and said confidently, "He Qing, do you think there is a possibility that Zhengren is a scumbag?" Little He Qing covered her mouth in surprise. "No, I never thought so. I just think that Lin Zhengren is just a little bit fickle at most. He is not a scumbag, right? Aren't scumbags the kind of people who love the new and hate the old and abandon their wives and daughters?" Zhang Zuli added, "That's not a scumbag, that's a scumbag," she said shyly. "But if you think about it carefully, he is not a scumbag. The word scumbag has a lot of meanings. At most, he is a playboy. Apart from his playboy status, Zhengren has always been the best to us." Han Wenwen looked at Lin Zhengren. Brother Zhengren has all the advantages except his playboy status. The three girls had different expressions. Lin Zhengren did not comment on whether he was a scumbag or not. He always thought he was pure love. He put down the book and stood up. Let's go eat." The three girls followed him. Chapter 321 Zhang Jin's voice. At noon, the university campus was filled with birdsong and flowers. The four of them were eating in the restaurant, talking and laughing. In the pavilion beside the university pond, the little goldfish in the stream swam back and forth, occasionally spitting a few bubbles on the water surface. Fang Meng handed the lunch she bought to Zhang Jin, which was the same chicken roll that Lin Zhengren bought in the restaurant yesterday at noon. "Here, Kaianqian." Zhang Jin, with long flowing hair, took it and asked, "How is the plan implemented?" "It failed." Lin Zhengren said that he had no intention of joining the club at all. He said that he had other things to do with those three girls. Zhang Jin said, "Oh," took it and opened it, took a bite of the tender and juicy chicken roll with her red lips and chewed it slowly in her mouth. In the eyes of outsiders, Zhang Jin still had no expression on her face, but as a good girlfriend who grew up together, she could see that Kaianqian was still a little depressed. Although this kind of depression could not defeat Kaianqian, after all, she could still talk to Lin Zhengren every day before, but now she can't even talk to him even though they are still in the same class. The disadvantage of too much freedom in college life, how painful it is for a girl in love, is unknown. Fang Meng also took out her lunch, which was made of the same ingredients. After taking a bite, the two girlfriends ate while staring at the goldfish in the pool. Fang Meng said, "Kaianqian, there is something I want to remind you. Lin Zhengren is a real person in real life. I know that he is perfect in Kaianqian's heart, but since he is a person, he must have some shortcomings. This shortcoming may not be ability, but it may be a habit or behavior, but there will always be shortcomings." "Xiao Meng, what do you want to say?" Zhang Jin looked at Fang Meng with cold eyes. Fang Meng smiled, and seemed to change the subject and said, "I want to investigate how to make Lin Zhengren have a good impression of a girl. Although love at first sight does not apply to Lin Zhengren, since Lin Zhengren has feelings for girls and will develop emotions, that means there must be some way in this world to make Lin Zhengren fall in love, but we don't know the method yet." Fang Meng paused. "My next action may not be useful, but I want to change tactics. I will no longer investigate Lin Zhengren, but investigate those girls and the eldest lady. If I find out anything by then, I hope Kaianqian can be mentally prepared." Zhang Jin is not stupid either. She knows what Xiao Meng means. She even said it out loud. You mean, those three girls plus the sister all have certain qualities that Lin Suhengren likes, right? Yeah. Seeing that the other party was simple and direct, she also said, let me be frank. I guess that maybe classmate Lin Suhengren is playing 4 women at the same time, because the eldest lady and the 3 of them must like Lin Suhengren, and if Lin Suhengren also likes them, then there must be something between them. Of course, this is just a guess. After all, I can't imagine the scene where the eldest lady can accept such a thing. Zhang Jin looked towards the pond and took a few more bites of the chicken roll, then he has a lot of legs. Okay, Xiao Meng, go and investigate. From today on, we will act separately. You just said that he will not join the club, then I roughly understand what he is going to do. After all, I have been sitting at the same table with him for 3 years. After that, Zhang Jin finished her lunch and turned to leave. Feng Meng was surprised and asked, assuming that's true, does Qianqian still want to get Lin Suhengren? Does she still like him? Even if he's so fickle? Can you accept this? Zhang Jin turned her head halfway, and the second young lady's long black hair danced in the breeze on the campus. So beautiful. Xiao Meng, I don't know why I'm not surprised after hearing what you just said. Maybe from the beginning, although we didn't say it, we actually knew that Lin Suhengren was very greedy for girls. Because since we first met him, he has always had those 3 girls around him. Although I don't understand the specific relationship between them, I can see that Lin Suhengren treats the 3 of them sincerely. Even now with my sister, Lin Suhengren has not thrown them aside. Feng Meng was silent. Zhang Jin asked back, do you dare to say that my sister couldn't see the relationship between Lin Suhengren and the 3 of them from the beginning? My sister has met so many people and talked business with so many big bosses. She can definitely see many things at a glance. But even under this premise, my sister and I still fell in love with this person we shouldn't like, and wanted to be with him. I don't know why my sister was attracted to him, but the thing that attracted me most about him, is that he will not abandon important people, will not get tired of the old and love the new. As long as I get him, I won't worry about being abandoned by him, and will always be cared for and protected by him. This strange sense of security is also the reason why I am so persistent, and the fact that he is a playboy is almost in front of us, as if he is telling others. Zhang Jin repeated, I am such a person. Whatever you see me as, that is what I am. If you don't like me, don't get close to me, and I won't take the initiative to get close to you. Zhang Jin smiled and said, there is a special charm. Feng Meng suddenly laughed too. I understand. Classmate Lin Suhengren is the kind of person who can be seen and touched. He is too powerful, so he doesn't need to pretend in front of others. He does whatever he wants and doesn't care about other people's opinions. This kind of unrestrainedness is fatal to girls, Zhang Jin, but don't worry, even though I said so much, I don't have the idea of sharing a husband with my sister. After all, my sister is different from those 3 girls. She is someone who will not be abandoned. After Lin Suhengren and I are together, Lin Suhengren will accompany my sister as a brother-in-law, and I will also accompany my sister for the rest of my life. Her expression suddenly darkened. Of course, if she is really abandoned, then she will be abandoned. My sister deserves it. Who asked her to snatch Lin Suhengren away? Feng Meng grinned awkwardly. Qianqian, you have a unique malice towards the eldest lady. Zhang Jin looked forward again. As for those 3 girls, I know that Lin Suhengren will definitely keep them by his side. In this case, I will just be the most important person in Lin Suhengren's mind. I can still accept 4 girls, because the moment I fell in love with him, I actually knew that I could accept such a thing, otherwise I would not like it. Zhang Jin looked up at the sky with a blush on her face. Strong, confident, absolutely safe, and high school has changed me. It's okay for such a man to be a little fickle. Who doesn't have some shortcomings? Who made me like him? She spoke to Feng Meng, and her expression became cold again. Okay, let's talk about this. Next, our plan is that you will investigate the 3 girls plus my sister, and investigate what Lin Suhengren likes about them. I will use my method to get close to Lin Suhengren, create opportunities to be with him, and continue to make him break up with my sister. Action. Feng Meng nodded helplessly. No problem, I will find out as soon as possible. Looking at Zhang Jin disappearing in the campus, Feng Meng also covered her heart with her hand. Women are really stupid. They know that Lin Suhengren is a huge fire pit, but they still jump into it one after another, even me. Quotation mark. Chapter 322 Exchange of Experience. Today is the weekend, and people are rushing in front of the gates of Peking University and Tsinghua University. Han Wenwen, wearing a floral dress and a pair of fox eyes, squatted at the edge of the flower bed. She opened a bag of chicken-flavored potato chips, and her pink manicured fingers were constantly taking out chips and putting them into her mouth. Her eyes followed the movement of a ladybug on the leaves of the flower bed. The invisible foxtail was swaying. Little He Qing squatted beside Han Wenwen and grabbed his arm timidly. Wenwen, aren't you afraid of bugs? What's there to be afraid of, ladybugs? I haven't seen ladybugs for many years. Our hometown is full of those high-star ladybugs. The one in front of me is a rare model. Zhang Zuli stood aside and yawned, her eyes blurred with tears. Why hasn't Zhangren come yet? Little He Qing was curious. Lily, didn't you sleep well last night? I saw you tossing and turning in bed before going to bed. Zhang Zuli paused when she heard it, and waved her hands shyly. How can I not sleep well? I just went to bed a little late. Han Wenwen ate potato chips. Lily should have secretly read comics in the bed last night again. I found it several times recently. Zhang Zuli clenched her fists and blushed. Nonsense. Who would read that kind of thing? Han Wenwen looked at Zhang Zuli with meaningful fox eyes. Really? Don't you read it? But I accidentally saw you reading it once. What nonsense, you stinky fox. Shut up. How could I watch that kind of stuff? I'm going to sue you for defamation. Han Wenwen smiled. Lily is so innocent. How about we make a bet? You give me your phone. If I can find some inappropriate stuff for children on it, even if I win, if I lose you have to wash my socks for 2 days. If I don't find it, I will wash your socks for 2 days. Zhang Zuli's face became more and more ashamed. She clasped her hands across her chest and said, It's just a childish bet. I won't do such a childish thing. No bet. Are you scared? Provoking me is useless. Why should I bet on such things? As the saying goes, the innocent are innocent. Anyway, I really haven't seen that kind of stuff, and I don't want to see it. Han Wenwen glanced at Little He Qing. Has He Qing seen it recently? Little He Qing was stunned and shy. Why are you asking me? Wenwen, can we change the subject? I refuse to answer this question. Han Wenwen chewed potato chips. Then let's change the subject. Do you two have photos of brothers Hangren? How about we three exchange them? I don't have enough photos. I've seen them too many times. Use Little He Qing stammered. What do you mean by use? Wenwen always feels so weird. Han Wenwen bit her finger covered with potato chip residue and said as a matter of course, after all, no matter how much knowledge you learn on the internet and how much information you read, you must use brothers Hangren's photos when you relax your body in the end. Otherwise, it's not good enough to just imagine it, right? Little He Qing and Zhang Zuli were speechless, and their faces were burning. Zhang Zuli put her hands behind her back and looked up at the sky. I don't quite understand what you are talking about, a fox, but it's okay to exchange. I really want to collect more photos of Zhangren. Little He Qing poked her fingers at each other with her hands and half lowered her head. Then I will exchange with you. Han Wenwen took out her mobile phone. Come on, let's set up a photo group together. Post all your photos over the years to the group, and let the three of us exchange. The three of them immediately squatted together and posted photos to each other in the group. Everyone looked at the various photos and admired them. This is great. Lin's Hangren looks so handsome in this photo. He Qing, how come you still have this photo of Zhangren when he was such a child? Won't you feel guilty when you use it? Lily, what are you talking about? Of course I won't use this kind of photo. The youngest one I used was in junior high school. No. I haven't used it. Han Wenwen was surprised to see these photos, and her little face was filled with fantasies. You two have collected so many photos. I have to save them all quickly. These are all treasures. I don't have to worry about materials recently. It's a pity that I didn't know brothers Hangren when I was a child. Zhang Zuli looked at a photo of Lin Hangren's upper body on the bed in surprise. Han Wenwen, where did you get this photo of Zhangren's upper body? Where was it taken? I took a secret photo of brothers Hangren when he was sleeping in my bed once. By the way, haven't you taken secret photos too? Brothers Hangren has slept at Lily's house so many times. Little He Qing was shocked. How come you two have taken so many secret photos of him? I don't even dare to take a photo. When the three of them were concentrating on exchanging photos, someone bent down and stared curiously. Lin's Hangren didn't understand what the three guys were doing. They didn't hear him when he called them just now. What are you three looking at? This sentence scared the three of them. They stood up quickly like cats with their fur blown up, holding their phones to smooth things over. We didn't do anything. We didn't look at anything. Zio He was just a shy chicken pecking at rice. No, no. Lin Zhengren stretched out his hand. Give it to me and let me take a look. When the three heard this, they suddenly felt shy and tears came out of their eyes. They begged, don't look at it this time, Zhengren, please. Zio He closed her eyes and held the phone tightly. She vowed to live and die with the phone today. I beg you to. From the expressions of the three of them, Lin Zhengren suddenly understood what these photos were. Speechless, you three are really? Don't spread it around, okay? The three pretended not to understand what he said, but still nodded, and said in unison, although we don't understand what you said, we definitely won't. Lin Zhengren raised his hand, and each of them had a head exploded. There were 3 bangs, and the 3 of them wailed in turn. Lin Zhengren put away their phones when he saw them. Let's go and look at houses. I plan to buy a 2-story villa, once and for all. What about you? What type do you want? Han Wenwen exclaimed. You can pick whatever you want. I don't care. As long as I have a home with Brother Zhengren, it's fine. Zhang Zuli was puzzled. Are we going to buy a villa today? Although I know Zhengren has a lot of money, I always feel that the word villa sounds high-end. Zio He shook her head. This topic is expensive, and I have no opinion. Lin Zhengren also found that the layout of Zhang Qianjing's house was good when he went to her last time. Although Lin Zhengren felt that there were some places that could be improved. The 2-story villa was indeed very convenient, with a living room and bedroom separated. It would not look messy. Lin Zhengren, since you 3 have no objection, just follow me. When the time comes, take a look at the house style. If you like it, tell me. The 3 nodded. Then they took a taxi with Lin Zhengren to look at the house. Chapter 323 New Home. College students are really young to come and look at houses. But perhaps because they are too young, the staff at the sales office are very enthusiastic. Of course, this is also related to Lin Zhengren's charm. One by one, they came over. Handsome boy? Come to see the house. Lin Zhengren nodded. I want to see the villa on the 2nd floor. The staff looked at Lin Zhengren's temperament and were delighted. Okay, the sisters will take you there. Although it is difficult for them to say whether this young man has money, his aura is not like that of an ordinary person. The more they look at him, the more he looks like a rich second generation. The 3 little ones followed Lin Zhengren closely. They looked at several villas in turn, and their eyes lit up when they faced various luxurious environments. The sales sisters were also very enthusiastic. After being tired of shopping, Lin Zhengren took the 3 little ones to have lunch and continued in the afternoon. When they went to eat, Zhang Zuli covered her mouth and whispered in Han Wenwen's ear, if the 3 of us don't follow today, will Zhengren be asked for what's by these people again? I feel that those sisters are very enthusiastic about Zhengren. Han Wenwen walked forward slowly. 100%. Little He Qing also whispered, Lin Zhengren will definitely be popular as long as he gathers with girls, but I don't know why. When I came to this kind of sales office in the morning, I suddenly thought of the plots in some short videos. It turns out that reality is different from novels. Han Wenwen immediately understood what little He Qing meant. She coughed and whispered, huh? Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? Do you know what a villa is, poor guy? You still come to see the villa. It's so funny. These are places where only rich people can live. She straightened her chest and raised her head. Little He Qing suddenly burst out laughing, and then continued, then later there will be a good-looking salesperson coming to Lin Zhengren with a very good attitude, and Lin Zhengren will take out his bank card to mock the salesperson just now. Little He Qing's voice imitated cutely, and stretched out a hand that seemed to have a bank card. Pack up all the villas that you haven't sold. The performance will be counted on this person. Han Wenwen looked regretful. Ah. Don't be like this. It's obviously me who came here first. Handsome guy, let me take you to see the house, please. As long as you buy from me, I am willing to do anything for you, even that kind of thing. She covered her face. Zhang Zuli grinned awkwardly. What the hell do you 2 usually watch? I didn't expect that the audience of this video is you 2, Little He Qing said shyly. There are quite a lot of videos like this. I will watch them occasionally when I see them. They are quite interesting. Lin Zhengren was walking in front, and suddenly raised his hand and gave He Qing and Wenwen a chestnut each. The 2 of them exclaimed. After thinking about it, he gave Zhang Zuli another one. Zhang Zuli held her head in confusion. Zhengren, why did you hit me? I didn't participate. Lin Zhengren, do you really think I'm deaf? Zhang Zuli turned her head and snorted. You only know how to bully people. But I think your relationship has really gotten better and better since you came back from the trip. You're behind me all day long like you're performing a play. And each of you has a sentence. He Qing, Han Wenwen and Zhang Zuli looked at each other without saying anything. Indeed, after the three of them came back from the trip, their relationship had unconsciously become much better than before. After all, they had all slept in the same bed in someone's arms. Of course, they slept in the air. Lin's Hengren, you all talked about the houses we saw this morning. Do you have any favorites? The three of them thought. Little He Qing touched her head, which didn't hurt. I feel everything is fine, but I just feel like something is missing. Han Wenwen nodded, me too. Although the houses picked by brothers Hengren have many large rooms on the second floor and nice living rooms, I just feel like something is missing, Zhang Zuli said. I kind of understand. Aren't they too scattered? Lin's Hengren puzzled. Scattered, Zhang Zuli. Well, that is to say, in these houses that the salesperson took us to see, everyone is separated. Although we should all have our own room when we live together, most of the time we should all sleep together, right? Little He Qing and Han Wenwen were stunned. The former was shy, and the latter Han Wenwen sighed. Lily sometimes says some sexy words. Zhang Zuli stretched out her arms and blushed. What? I mean sleeping normally. We will be a family in the future. And after marrying Zhengren in the future, we will be husband and wife, so we must sleep in each other's arms. Even if some things need to be separated, we should be together most of the time, instead of living in our own rooms most of the time. Otherwise, it will not be a simple house sharing. Han Wenwen understood and hammered her hand. It's really putting the cart before the horse. Lily is right. No wonder I feel something is wrong. It should be that our house is too big and brothers Hengren's room is too small. Lin's Hengren didn't expect that the strange thing they were talking about was this. Didn't I talk about this problem before? I also chose a large room in the living room on the first floor, so we can rest in the room together then. The three shook their heads together. Zio He Qing, it's different. After all, that kind of room is not a real bedroom. What we want is a bedroom to live with you, not a temporary one in the living room. We live together, and what we want is to see you every night. Lin's Hengren understood. He had thought that no matter how many girlfriends he had in the future, he would sleep together 1 or 2 days a week, or at noon. After all, there are things to do at night. But the girls' ideas are obviously different from his. They should think that they should be together every night, even if they have to do the kind of thing. After finishing, they should go back to the big room to sleep. In short, everyone should be together every night. So in this way, individual rooms are not so important, and it is indeed more like a family. Lin's Hengren nodded. I understand what you mean. It's not bad. Then we have a goal to find a house in the afternoon. Find a super large bedroom that can accommodate at least 7 people, and then each person can get a simple single room. That's all, right? The three of them suddenly felt jealous, and thought, Lin's Hengren, Zhengren, brothers Hengren, really bought a house according to the standard of 6 girlfriends. Lin's Hengren, what's wrong with you three? Do you have any other questions? The three shook their heads, all jealous. Nothing. Han Wenwen poked her lips with one hand and reminded, we have to prepare the children's room in advance. If each of them has 1 child, we will have to have 6 more rooms. Lin's Hengren, well, I have thought about this, but in the end I should buy them another one. It's really hard to find this type of house. If it doesn't work, maybe I can only customize it. After lunch at noon, Lin's Hengren went to look at houses again in the afternoon. Unexpectedly, there was such a house. It's just not a 2-story house, but a huge 3-story villa. The price is more than 4 times more expensive than the 2-story house, and it's newly built. But as long as it involves money, it is not a problem, although this amount of money is quite a lot for Lin's Hengren. Lin's Hengren decisively bought it and signed the purchase contract. The 4 of them officially moved into their new home today. Chapter 324 Notify Parents. As the purchase contract officially came into effect, the 4 of them stood in front of the house that would truly belong to them in the future. They were all very excited. When they pushed open the gate, they saw the stone road, the spacious courtyard garden, and the garage and pond not far away. The 3 little ones looked here and there, and they felt that they had already thought about how to transform this place in the future. Make it a warm home. After that, there is a 3-story villa. The first floor is the living room, study, etc., and the second floor is the bedroom, dressing room, cloakroom, etc. The third floor is where the little guy will be many years later. and it can now be used as a temporary warehouse. Entering the large bedroom on the second floor, it is a huge room. The bed is made up of 4 double beds, which is enough to accommodate 7 people to sleep tossing and turning without feeling crowded. After looking at the room, the 4 of them lay down on the bed together. Looking at the ceiling, He Qing sighed, "What a big house, what a soft mattress, it's like a palace." Zhang Zuli blinked her eyes. "I can't imagine that one day in the future I can live in a villa, and it's not rented." Han Wenwan's face was flushed. "It's a bit like a dream to have a house of my own with the person I love." He Qing turned her head and asked in a low voice, "Lin's Hengren, how much did you spend on this house?" "You didn't tell us just now, Lin's Hengren." "It probably cost me 1/5 of it. After all, it's a fine decoration," the 3 of them said in unison. The first thought was that they felt sorry for spending too much money on Lin's Hengren, and the second was that they realized that the price of this house was a new, 3-story villa with a huge garden. They didn't dare to think about the specific amount, and at this price Lin's Hengren could actually buy 5 villas. Lin's Hengren added, "Don't worry, my salary is paid annually. Although this house is indeed very expensive, the company's performance this year is very good because of Jingxi's matter, and the dividend money will be back at the end of the year." The 3 of them heard that they really should make money. No matter how much they make, at least they can help their boyfriends with household expenses. Lin's Hengren reminded, "By the way, you 3, since you have bought a house, take some time to move all the things in the dormitory in the next few days, and then go through the procedures for commuting to school." Little He Qing wondered, "Do I have to tell the counselor to go through the procedures for commuting to school?" Of course, Jingxi can talk to the school, mainly the uncle and aunt, He Qing and Lily. "You 2 have to talk to your parents, which is also an important step in the procedures, otherwise the school will not agree." The 2 of them nodded, and suddenly felt a little embarrassed, because it was easy to talk to their families about this matter. It was also difficult to say it. After Lin's Hengren finished speaking, he silently held Han Wenwan's hand. Han Wenwan turned her head, looked at Lin's Hengren with fox eyes, and interlocked her fingers with his. Red Lips smiled, "I still have a lot of things in the house I rented in the town. When I finish the procedures, brothers Hengren will accompany me to move." "Okay, yes." Without further ado, that afternoon, Little He Qing and Lily called their parents separately. Little He Qing and Lily curled up on the bed together. The former twirled her hair with her fingers and said shyly, "Mom, I want to tell you something. I don't want to live in the dormitory anymore. I want to go out and live with Lin's Hengren." "Aunt," he said, "Zio Qing, I didn't hear you clearly. Please tell me again." Little He Qing hesitated, but quickly closed her eyes and said boldly, "Mom, I want to go out and rent a house with Lin's Hengren. I want to live with him. Please agree." Zhang Zuli listened to He Qing being so bold, and she swallowed her saliva and called her parents. The hand that was not holding the phone was nervously stroking her ponytails. "Mom and Dad, this is Lily. I want to tell you 2 something. I want to rent a house outside. I wonder if it's okay." Jiang's father and mother understood almost immediately. "Rent a house? By yourself? You won't be with Hengren? Are you 2 planning to live together in college?" Zhang Zuli's face was hot, and she pouted and whispered, "Then it must be with him," she said proudly. "Oh. Anyway, he and I are together, so what's the big deal about living together?" "Mom and Dad, don't worry, Hengren and I rent a house outside. It's safe, you 2 can rest assured." Just 2 girls saying this, the probability of their parents agreeing is definitely not high. As a boyfriend, Lin's Hengren naturally has to tell both parents separately. It can only be said that the gold content of growing up together is still higher. And he doesn't need to say that even if there was no last time, these years of experience have made her know that her daughter will definitely marry Lin's Hengren in the future. "And the last time I called my daughter on the trip," the hesitant look, "it is obvious that the intimacy between the 2 has reached a higher level, and renting a house doesn't matter." Jiang's father and mother also watched their daughter grow up with Lin's Hengren. Lily didn't have many playmates since she was a child. The way she was with Lin's Hengren, the inseparable and happy look, how could the parents not know their daughter's thoughts, and the 2 were already in a relationship after high school. So things went smoothly, and both parents agreed to their daughters moving out. In a sense, it was also a disguised consent to Lin's Hengren, the future son-in-law. Han Wenwen ate potato chips in the room in the afternoon, watching Zio Qing and Lily continue to call home. It seemed to make the parents more at ease. The little fox was curious, and at a certain moment he thought about how to tell his family if he had a father and mother around him. In the end, Han Wenwen didn't imagine it. Because her eyes were quickly attracted by Lin Sihengren next to her. She lamented that every time she saw others with parents, she would feel a little uncomfortable, but now, this emotion has completely disappeared, and only Brother Sihengren is left in her eyes. After all, her parents don't love her, but Brother Sihengren will never abandon her. She was nibbling on a piece of chicken-flavored potato chips. While the two were talking on the phone, she stood up and went to Lin Sihengren. She raised her tender heels. She hugged Lin Sihengren's neck. The fox's eyes were seducing Lin Sihengren, and her eyes seemed to be asking, "Brother Sihengren, do you want to eat potato chips?" Lin Sihengren hugged the little fox's waist without hesitation. He ate the half potato chip she was biting, and the two kissed. Zhang Zuli and Xiao Heqing in the distance were stunned. Zhang Zuli watched her home being robbed, and angrily went over to interrupt and said, "Han Wenwen, what are you doing? Shut up." She hung up the phone with her parents and forcibly pulled the fox to stop her from kissing Sihengren. But Han Wenwen still wanted to kiss him at the last second before being pulled away. Zhang Zuli shouted, "You stinky fox, don't take advantage of Sihengren whenever you get the chance." Han Wenwen hid in Lin Sihengren's arms with a wronged look on her face. "What do you mean by taking advantage? I just kissed my boyfriend." "They are all excuses. Sihengren, you spoil Han Wenwen too much. You can kiss her whenever you want." Lin Sihengren touched Han Wenwen's head. "It's the same, you two can kiss each other anytime you want." Zhang Zuli was embarrassed and annoyed, unable to refute. Chapter 325 Ring. 2 days later, Zhang Zuli, He Qing and Han Wenwen went to the counselor to apply for day study. The three girls stood in the office together, saying the same idea. "Teacher, we want to apply for day study." Zhang Jingshi, who was holding a teacup in her hand at the workstation, looked at the three people in surprise. "Day study." She put down the teacup and turned to look at the three people who were still her students. "You three don't want to live in the dormitory," the three people answered. Little He Qing said, "We plan to live outside. We have already told our parents." "Counselor, please see if there are any other procedures." Zhang Jingshi thought about it. In fact, applying for day study is a very common thing. Because university students are already adults, they are relatively free to do things. Many male and female students who have part-time jobs or have their own things will live away from school. But these three girls are different for Zhang Jingshi. She smiled lightly. "Teacher, can I ask, do you think it's not good to live in the dormitory? Or is it inconvenient? Logically, you three should live well in a dormitory. Why are you still?" The three people suddenly smiled. Zhang Jingshi understood something and didn't ask any more questions. If it is convenient for the three of them to live together but they still want to move out, there is only one possibility. Because Zhang okay, then the teacher will give each of you an application form. You can ask your parents to sign their names on it in the next few days. I will also call your parents to ask about it later. He Qing and Zhang Zuli responded. Han Wenwen said, "Counselor, can I ask my uncle to sign it?" Zhang Jingshi paid close attention to the three of them, so she knew about the special situation of Han Wenwen's family before. "Yes, it will be fine if the guardian signs, but this step is required." "Okay, counselor." The three little ones left the office with the application form. Zhang Jingshi took out her mobile phone and called their parents. This is a necessary inquiry process for a teacher. After a conversation to confirm that everything was correct, Zhang Jingshi picked up the teacup and took a sip. The teacher in the same office asked curiously, "Teacher Zhang, are the three beautiful girls who just left the three who were with Lin Sihengren all day?" Since Lin Sihengren was the representative of the freshmen of this year, many teachers were impressed. Zhang Jingshi nodded. "Yes, that's the three of them." "Oh, they are all so beautiful. Is one of them Lin Sihengren's girlfriend? I once passed by and saw Lin Sihengren and that little fox-like girl being very close, like a boyfriend and girlfriend." Zhang Jingshi raised her lips with a little jealousy. "I don't know about that. I didn't pay much attention to it. It's not just about being close to Han Wenwen. In fact, Lin Sihengren's closeness to these three people is the same as long as you observe for a long time." Zhang Jingshi drank tea and looked out the window with a jealous look on her face. I don't know what she was thinking in her heart. It was noon, and the sun was a little mild today. Zhang Jingshi wore a three-quarter skirt and high heels and went to the post station to pick up a courier, which was some documents and items for schoolwork. When she opened the courier, perhaps she was a little absent-minded. She moved too much and found that a ring accidentally slipped from her finger. It rolled into the sewer next to her. Zhang Jingshi bent down and looked into the sewer. The ring was gone. "This ring is very valuable. She had specially asked someone to customize it to celebrate meeting Zhang Zhen. But now it is obviously gone. Teacher Zhang? What's wrong? Zhang Jingshi looked up almost instantly at the sudden familiar voice. No matter how expensive the things were, they were not as good as his shout. It was Lin Zhengrun. Zhang Jingshi stood up. Since there were many students around picking up express deliveries, Zhang Jingshi could not act too intimate. Student Lin Zhengrun, why are you here? Lin Zhengrun, I came to you on purpose to apply for some information from you. Information for day-to-day study? Her pupils dilated inexplicably and her lips tightened. Lin Zhengrun asked, what were you looking for in the sewer just now? What fell in? Zhang Jingshi came to her senses and subconsciously raised her left hand. The ring on her middle finger disappeared. It was the ring I had been wearing before. I accidentally fell into the sewer just now. Lin Zhengrun knew that none of Jingshi's jewelry was cheap, so he squatted down to check. But there would be occasional light rain in summer, and the sewer was extremely dirty and deep. After a small thing like a ring fell in, I didn't know how to find it. Zhang Jingshi said, it doesn't matter. If you can't find it, forget it. Anyway, I just bought it myself. I can find someone to make another one. Lin Zhengrun glanced at Zhang Jingshi, and they both smiled helplessly. Walking side by side on the campus, Zhang Jingshi whispered, you don't have classes this afternoon. Yeah, I don't have anything to do this afternoon. Zhang Jingshi held those work documents and moved her fingers slightly. I don't have anything to do this afternoon either. How about Lin Zhengrun accompany the teacher? She blushed and looked forward, and said in a voice that only people around her could hear, Zhang hasn't been with me for several days. Okay, I just want to go to where Jingshi lives now. He came here today specifically to accompany Zhang Jingshi. He has been with those 3 guys these days, and the time he spends with Jingshi is very little. Zhang Jingshi smiled when she heard that it was really okay. Really? Okay, then I'll take a leave in the afternoon. After saying that, she felt that she was too happy and it was easy for people around her to notice something strange. So he hurriedly coughed seriously and said seriously, then the teacher will ask for leave in the afternoon. You wait for me outside the school. I will come out after I put down my things. Let's meet at the first street outside the school gate. Okay, Zhang Jingshi smiled unconsciously and said goodbye to Lin Zhengrun briefly. She went to the office happily to put down the materials. Lin Zhengrun went to the meeting place. While putting down the materials, the teacher in the same office said, Teacher Zhang, what are you so happy about? Zhang Jingshi was puzzled. Happy? The teacher took a pen and said, yes, you don't smile much since you started working. You were so happy when you entered the office just now. Zhang Jingshi was shy and didn't say anything, but the other party guessed it. Could it be that Teacher Jiang's boyfriend came to see you? It was meaningful. Zhang Jingshi did not deny it and nodded. He is very busy. It's not easy for him to come here. It happens that I have nothing to do this afternoon, so I have to take a leave to accompany him. The office teacher smiled. I thought so, but I didn't expect that such a beautiful person like Teacher Zhang would like her boyfriend so much. Getting married soon, right? Zhang Jingshi smiled. It will probably take a few more years. Okay, I'll go to Director Zhao to ask for leave. Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye, Teacher Zhang. Looking at Zhang Jingshi leaving, she sighed. She looked so happy. Although she was wearing high heels, Zhang Jingshi walked briskly and quickly left the school to meet her sweetheart at the school gate. When she saw him from a distance, Zhang Jingshi stopped and smoothed her hair with her hand, then took out her mobile phone to take a picture of herself. Then she hurried over. Zhang Zhen. You must have been waiting for a long time. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.